They go deep, and it's caught. A great catch in the first down, still on his feet, jumps out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Wow, the guts Coach Buzz has to go for it on that position of the field.
Welcome to Crown Point High School and welcome to Bulldog Football here on Game Night presented by the Bulldog Network for a beautiful evening of football between the visiting Lowell Red Devils and the Crown Point Bulldogs. We're going to keep it here on the field to start as the senior class is commemorated tonight. Anderson Keller, one of the last few ones here, unfortunately. We found out just a few weeks ago that he has a torn ACL and will be out for the entirety of the season. And Bella, this is a stacked senior class, to say the least.
It is extremely stacked. We have 21 seniors starting and 9 backup on varsity for CP. So some of the highlighted players are our quarterback, Tice Custy, is a senior. We also have our running back, Braden Scott, who leads in mostly all the yardages. We also have wide receivers, Kinson Connolly and Ethan Zilkowski, and our tight end Cooper Molaski, as well as 4 out of the 5 of our offensive linemen.
Yeah, and Anderson Keller, too, like I just mentioned, was going to be the starting tight end, and an unfortunate turn of events. He'll be out for the whole season. The starting kicker, Oliver Brewer, who's been on the varsity team all 4 years, has been incredible his whole career, starting back his freshman year. Josh Daniels, a key defensive lineman. Logan Howard, a starting offensive lineman. Jaden Sadler, who's going to be starting at safety tonight. An incredibly stacked senior class. I wonder if this could have either a negative effect for next year for the younger classes. Will the team be worse or will they be better because of the amount of seniors mentoring them for next year?
I think mentoring is a great thing. It's growth. You need to take a player under your wing and start to grow them up and develop them for these next games, for the next season. Even though you're not going to have these mentors on the field, they're going to take what they taught you and apply it to your everyday games.
Absolutely, and everybody else is being commemorated too. Anybody who's a senior, huge senior class this year. Lots of they were juniors last year, contributed to this team greatly. There's a lot of juniors and sophomores this year who are contributing to this team greatly, but mainly the seniors, a huge class this year. I'm seeing Xavier Reddix and Nevion Wright and Andrew Tran, Rico Artister, who is here in our program doing these football games, running the camera for us last year. He's there on the field for his senior night. Ben and Zach Clark, who've been on the team for all 4 years. Ethan Zilkowski, one of the receivers, as you said, Tice Custy. I mean, the impact that this senior class has had and will have for the season will not be forgotten.
It definitely will not, especially players such as Cooper Molaski, who last year was one of our quarterbacks and now going into a different position shows the flexibility that this athlete has. And I think he's going to pass these teachings down to many of the younger players.
And this year with basketball, too, not a lot of seniors. There's a big senior class. 7 of the 12 players last year on the basketball team were seniors. Cooper Molaski this year, one of very few seniors. He can do the same with basketball, and I found out through you, he plays volleyball too.
He does play volleyball. He is a center in volleyball, and it was pretty interesting to see him. The day after basketball ended, he was out on the court for volleyball, and that was very interesting to see.
I mean, that whole family, Seamus Molaski as well, incredible. He played, I think he's going to Purdue for shot put or something, not even football, and he was incredible at football, was part of that state run in 2023. And his brother not doing so shabby, was a quarterback mixed in as kind of a receiver tight end last year. It looks like this year he will be a complete wide receiver tight end, no quarterback playing for him. Chase Horton as well, a younger quarterback who it looks like he's going to get a lot of reps this year. I mean, we're not saying Tice Custy's not deserving of the starting role, but just because of maybe the uncertainty, because of the run game, which we'll get into in a little bit in our pregame analysis when we come back from our first break here tonight. But we might see some younger guys like Chase Horton come in. Maybe, I mean, AJ Summers, who's a sophomore, incredible last year. He's kind of this wildcat quarterback.
There's someone I also want to mention, Logan Dennison. He's a sophomore right now. I went to the scrimmage last Friday, and he got most of the reps, and he was excellent. He knew how to throw the ball. He communicated with his receivers and running backs, and he just knew how to work the field.
And everybody else, the cheer team, the dance team, everybody else being commemorated, the people on the athletic staff. I got to be honest. I mean, I might be a little bit biased. I'm a senior this year. I'm class of 2027, but this seems to be the biggest class I've seen. I mean, I've been here for, now 4 senior nights, but I think this is the biggest class so far. Again, maybe a little bit biased, but a lot of impact by this class.
So much impact. And I believe our senior class in general is 747, I believe. So it's definitely a huge class, and especially for football, cheerleading, and dance.
Okay, let's get down to business a little bit. Just a little bit before we head to break. The Lowell Red Devils, Crown Point Bulldogs, opening the season for I don't know how many. I believe it's the 8th time in a row they've opened the season. Crown Point has won the last 5. Dating back to even before Coach Buzz was the head coach here. And they've outscored Lowell 194-35 in those 5 matchups, allowing an average of just 1 touchdown per opener. And again, another important game, even though Lowell may not be the strongest opponent, they're not even a conference opponent, but this is an important game to start your season on the right track like they have the last 5 years.
I believe if they come out strong like Coach usually does, Coach Buzz likes to stay aggressive and fast in the Crown Point defense and offense. He lets us start going, running strong, which also keeps the team moving. I believe that if you keep moving, keep your momentum high, that's all that matters in this game right now. Yes, Lowell may try to trick you in some ways, but I think if Crown Point just keeps going,
I think Coach Buzz is known for that, just staying aggressive. We see him up 28-0, 35-0, sometimes even 42-0, and he still has his starters out there. He does not feel comfortable with any lead. He wants to pour it on until he is 100% certain that he can put in his backups and give them a chance to play. I will say this senior class is great. A lot of seniors, big impact as we were talking about. But I don't know. I think this team is going to have a tougher outing, not only this season with out-of-conference opponents with Lowell and Pike, and we'll have Pike's game next Friday right here on the Bulldog Network for you guys, but DAC too. Maryville's a much-improved Maryville team from last year, and they gave Crown Point Bulldogs in Week 3 last year a fight. Like Central's never easy. That's a rivalry game. You have Valparaiso. You have Chesterton, who always play tough. I think it's going to be a tough outing this year, more so than other years. Crown Point 12-1 2 years ago, 10-1 last year. They lost to Penn last year in sectionals. It's going to be a tough outing this year.
And like you mentioned before, Crown Point went 7-0 in their conference. And like we were talking, Maryville is definitely a legit threat. I believe the biggest key to that is Michael Hill Jr. He is their quarterback right now, and he's the biggest X factor within the team. So he gives them a run for the money every single time they play.
And now the ring ceremony for last year's Crown Point basketball team has commenced. All the boys from last year's team, the Rhodes brothers, MJ Wilson, I see Dikembe Shaw down there, a few of the football players down there, Luke Kennedy, and of course Cooper Mulaski, who we were talking about. This is also another huge success, and Crown Point again may not have as good of a team as last year, making a state run. And you were actually there, Bella. They were up early, late in the game, and it was a crushing defeat. But they're going to be commemorated with our new athletic director this year, Chris Seibert, and our new assistant athletic director, Allison Duncan. They have done a terrific job with everything that has gone on here in the last few weeks in Indiana. They've done a terrific job to get this place up and running, to get the athletics up and running. Thanks to them, we're here right now doing this game. But the basketball team, you had actually more, I think, of a perspective than I did I was not part of that playoff run. You were.
Yes.
Go ahead and talk about that as they're getting commemorated.
They are an excellent team. They played hard every game, I'd have to say. I think the biggest challenge was definitely the state game, and of course it's a state game, it's going to be. But they had to play against Luke Ertl on Mount Vernon, who is called Mr. Basketball for a reason. So I believe that that was their greatest challenge that they faced. They went into each game, kept their heads high. They were leading by a lot until a certain point where they did hold the ball a lot, which did hurt them more in the long run. But that was a common strategy that we saw throughout the game, because I know, Gabe, you broadcasted many of the basketball games as well throughout the year, and we saw that Coach Swan held the ball, and that was a great strategy in some games, but not this one. But they had a really great run throughout all of their games. And we have players like MJ Wilson still on this team, and we can build from them because he took the teachings like we were talking about from other people and putting them up in this year.
Yeah, I think it's great any time, even if it was a blown lead like last year, pretty crushing defeat to say the least. It's definitely a success. I mean, the Crown Point football team got to the 2023 state championship, then they're losing 38-7 to Ben Davis, but that's a success in itself. I don't think anybody saw it coming that Crown Point would go undefeated all the way to the state championship run and have to play a tough indie team. I mean, it's the same thing here with the Bulldogs. In that game, they didn't actually get blown out. They were good all season. They were consistent all season. That chemistry that team had was incredible. The 7 seniors on the team, we shall see how they do this year. We're going to head to a quick break, our first break here on the Bulldog Network. When we come back, we're going to have some pregame analysis. The Lowell Red Devils and the Crown Point Bulldogs next here on the Bulldog Network.
Generations of family, faith, and community are at the heart of Dutch Farms. Based in Chicago for nearly 40 years, we work hard to bring you a full line of fresh, high-quality products fast. Like eggs that go from farm to shelf in 24 to 48 hours. That's freshness you can trust. And it's all part of our family tradition of quality here at Dutch Farms.
Whether you kick off your day hot and fresh or bold and cold, schooled big with Java Wave coffee. Then fill up on favorites like our delicious breakfast pizza, home-style biscuits and gravy, or our croissant note lineup. Hot, fresh, and ready every morning. And if you're really hungry, try the Farmhouse Sandwich, king of Indiana breakfast. However you start your day, start it the Bulldog way with Family Express.
Welcome to the Corner Booth. At the end of a long week, the best reward is to slide into a warm, comfortable corner booth at your favorite neighborhood pub or diner. The Corner Booth frozen pizza, appetizers, and Italian beef bring us back to the neighborhood and traditional recipes. We love our pub-style pizza in Chicago. Its signature characteristics include a crispy, thin crust, 100% real thick shredded cheese, and an overload of quality toppings. The taste is satisfying to the soul. And for a truly authentic pub-style experience, we recommend cutting our pizza into squares, not wedges. We invite you to savor the irresistible flavors that have made the Corner Booth a staple of Chicago's food scene. Available at Jewel.
Whoa, bummer. Well, at least you get to see your insurance agent, right?
Yeah, you're right. Sure, my car got struck by lightning, but my Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, Mike, is gonna help me figure it out. So awesome. Oh, here he is. Big Mike!
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent helps guide you through the process, so you don't have to go it alone.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree. We care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
We Build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America builds and maintains roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure that make us the crossroads of America. So thanks to LIUNA members' work, Hoosiers have a better quality of life, like access to utilities, easier routes to jobs, schools, or medical care. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. the Labor's International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
You don't want to miss this. The pace, the noise, the moments you don't forget. Get in now with a $100 refundable per-seat deposit and secure priority access to the best available seats and best pricing for the 2026-27 season. The earlier you act, the better your options. Don't miss it. Secure your spot today.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
What? This means we get to talk to Denise.
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent helps guide you through the process, so you don't have to go it alone.
Denise! Hey! Wow!
We were just talking about you. That's so funny.
Whether you kick off your day hot and fresh or bold and cold, schooled big with Java Wave coffee. Then fill up on favorites like our delicious breakfast pizza, home-style biscuits and gravy, or our croissant note lineup, hot, fresh, and ready every morning. And if you're really hungry, try the farmhouse sandwich, king of Indiana breakfast. However you start your day, start it the Bulldog way with Family Express.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute
Welcome to Crown Point High School and welcome to Bulldog Football here on Game Night presented by the Bulldog Network for a beautiful evening between the Lowell Red Devils and the Crown Point Bulldogs. We welcome you all watching into the booth here. She is Bella Angarone. I'm Gabe Trevino. Welcome to the Bulldog Network. We're going to be your host for every home football game this season. Now down to business, the Crown Point Bulldogs and the Lowell Red Devils. Crown Point has dominated this matchup, as I said just a few minutes ago, outscoring Lowell in the last 5 matchups, 194-35. That's thanks in part to Max Skurnick and Braden Scott in this run game that was really, really good last year.
Of course.
And doesn't plan on changing this year.
No, not at all. Last year, we know that Braden Scott had 99 carries and 604 yards. And Max Skurnick is a junior, and he has 118 carries and 234 yards. So that's only going to keep getting better. And last year, we know that the rushing was more and more because of our quarterback situation. We didn't know who was going to be playing, but I think that's going to keep continuing because I know Coach Buzz likes to make his plays based on that.
Yeah, there's 4 seniors on this offensive line, so I don't see them going away from the run game anytime soon. There was uncertainty last season with Tice Custody. Was it going to be Cooper Mulaski? Was it maybe going to be Chase Horton? Now that Cooper Mulaski is going to be playing tight end, wide receiver, just a receiver, it's going to be a little bit more certain, but maybe Chase Horton comes in and plays a little bit more. We're going to have to see how Tice Custody starts because Coach Buzz loves to throw the ball when you had a quarterback like Noah Ehrlich a few years ago who could really throw the ball downfield. He loved doing it. But when you have backs like Max Skurnick and Braden Scott and an incredible offensive line, what more can you do except run the ball? I mean, it was an incredible season running the ball for Max Skurnick and Braden Scott last year. Hopefully they can do the exact same this year, starting tonight versus the Lowell Red Devils as the Bulldogs begin their first run out of the season here on Friday, August 21st. It's a pretty beautiful day, too, for football. A slight breeze. It's about 75 degrees or so. I mean, I don't know if you could have drawn it up any better in terms of the weather.
No, I think it's beautiful. It's perfect. The stands are crowded, and we have our seniors and our student section wearing blue today, so everyone is showing their Crown Point spirit, and I think everyone's ready for this game to begin. Football season.
Football season is here. High school begins this week. We'll have a few college games next week, and then after that, we'll be 3 weeks deep in the high school football. We'll have Texas-Ohio State, which is a huge matchup coming up in college football, and then a week after that begins the National Football League. But for right now, high school football, the first step into football season begins in just a few minutes with kickoff from a kicker who has been incredible. We talked about him very briefly, Oliver Brewer. I mean, a senior, has been on this team from freshman to senior, has played soccer. No wonder why he's so good at kicking.
Right.
He's been incredible. They're going to need him this season. I'm really excited to see how this offense does, but the defense too was very good last year, and they have taken a step down this year. We don't say that in a derogatory way, but they have taken a step down this year as the Bulldogs run out.
Yes, I believe, well, right now, if you look at our senior lineup, we have Ben Clark, he's a senior. We have Josh Daniels, Stephen Pantelic, Connor Trapp, Jaden Sadler. We have so many seniors showing on this defense. It's going to be interesting to see next year who they're going to put in for each of them.
Yeah, and there are the Bulldogs coming out onto the sideline for the first time this season. It always feels like this, but every year feels like a longer wait to football season, and that just gets people more amped up, especially the players who are out there going to play tonight. The Crown Point Bulldogs, the Lowell Red Devils, opening up for the 8th time in a row. This would be the 6th time in a row the Bulldogs defeat the Lowell Red Devils on the opening Friday night of their season. And again, we talked about it's important to start fast, start strong, not just this game, but this season, especially in a season that's going to be tougher this year with a much improved DAC and a Crown Point team that has taken a step down. They're still a very good, viable team, especially here in Northwest Indiana. We'll see how they do if they get to those Indianapolis teams, as Tice Custy, Connor Cavalcante, and Steve Pantelic walk out, along with Anderson Keller, who we got the horrible news a few weeks ago. I actually got it from him directly that he had torn his ACL, committed to Central Michigan. He would have been the starting tight end, and he would have been a great heir to Trevor Gibbs. But unfortunately, he will be out for the entirety of the season.
It is truly devastating to hear that news, because when I was speaking with you, you told me that information, and I was like, no way, I have him in my roster ready to go. Like, I thought I was going to be ready to talk about him and everything, but now we have Cooper Mulaski, who's taking over, sadly, for him. But we know Cooper is going to get the job done as well, as best as he can, and Anderson Keller is going to be cheering them on from the sidelines.
Cooper stepped into a big role last year with the basketball team. He stepped into maybe not a big role, but a different role last year, playing quarterback, receiver. You know, maybe when he wanted to play quarterback, he's playing receiver. When he wanted to play receiver, maybe playing quarterback. He's gonna do just fine. He'll replace Anderson Keller just fine, but that is 100% a devastating loss. I want to talk about the defensive line here for the Bulldogs. A very interesting defensive line. Steve Pantelic and Josh Daniels played last year. Josh Daniels, incredible season. Steve Pantelic, probably about as consistent as you can get on the defensive line. But Fletcher Dickinson, a new addition, very tall, very lanky, isn't your Steve Pantelic or Josh Daniels, just big and strong. I'm really interested to see how he does getting off the edge. Is that speed going to be worth the trade-off for the size?
I truly think so. I know we don't have very many stats on him. He had 1 tackle last year and 1 sack, so that's not too much that we know, and he hasn't really fit this position too much. But I think that he's going to step in really well and just keep going with this defense.
Not a lot of playing time from him last year. There's not a lot of playing time from a lot of people last year that are starting on this team. So that'll be another interesting factor that I think we've totally kind of blown over, is there's a lot of new starters. There's obviously returning starters, but there's a lot of new starters on this team. Cooper Mulaski starting at tight end is maybe the most experienced, again, besides the returning guys. Tice Custy, is that going to be different for him, being the consistent starting quarterback? You have Ethan Zilkowski, Kingston Connolly at receiver, R.J. Ford, who did not get a lot of playing time last year. A very new team, especially on offense. Very excited to see this Bulldog team come out.
Yeah, and I'm just interested to see the wide receiver, like you mentioned. Kingston Connolly, he had 3 receptions, 26 yards, and 0 touchdowns. And then R.J. Ford had 11 receptions, 113 yards, and also 0 touchdowns. But also, RJ Ford is only a sophomore. So he had his freshman year. He played that a much amount. He had more yards than Kingston Connolly right now, who is a senior. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see who gets more touches and receptions as well.
So the Lowell Red Devils will kick off first. The Bulldogs to receive, to be on offense first this season. Here we go. The 2026 Bulldogs season about to be underway. It'll be Kingston Connolly, Max Gurnick back to return for the Bulldogs, as well as Cesar Torres, who you seem to really like after going to that scrimmage.
I do really like him. He is excellent. He has a great run game, and he got most of the touches with Logan Dennison. Logan Dennison was quarterback, and he kept handing it off to number 9, Torres. And I think that they should put him in eventually in one of these games and give him some experience on the field.
Here we go, underway for the 2026 Crown Point Bulldog football season. The Lowell Red Devils and the Crown Point Bulldogs. Here we go. The Bulldogs on offense first. That was Dylan Bisacci, the 5'11", 171-pound senior, kicking off for the Red Devils. And here we go. Most, maybe not all, but most of our questions here about to be answered here from the booth. Tice Custy running out as the starting quarterback this year after much uncertainty at this time last year. Let's see how the Bulldogs attack right away. Braden Scott in the backfield to start. RJ Ford and Kingston Connolly at receiver to start. A heavy package here to start. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. First play of the season will be play action. Custy to throw early, gets hit, fires one down the sideline. Kingston Connolly makes a great catch down the sideline, inbounds all the way to the 47-yard line. A 22-yard grab from Kingston Connolly to start.
That was excellently executed. We saw that Kingston ran to the side, and because he was able to have the man-to-man coverage, that was so much easier for the fake to happen to get to him.
Interesting play call from Coach Buzz, a play action call to start. Known for the running game, especially last year. Now they're going to go to Scott, and he is stuffed in the backfield. Tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he does. So it'll be a gain of nothing, a loss of nothing. Scott looked like maybe a 3-yard loss there. Turned it in from nothing to something. So it's 2nd and 10 from the 47. Cooper Mulaski was in on that last play, remains in. Looking to line up as a tight end here right behind his right tackle. Braden Scott in the backfield once again. They're going to hand it off to him outside this time. Mulaski throws him a block, and he's tackled from behind. Good job by this Red Devil defense early on to stop Braden Scott. We thought would be a threat in this game, and that will get him to about midfield. 3rd and long here to start at midfield for the Bulldogs. Lasky out there early throwing a block bell. I mean, for a tall, somewhat skinny guy out there, good job throwing a block. It got Scott free, but the linebackers for the Red Devils were there to make the tackle. Ethan Zolkowski in for the first time tonight. Custy to throw off play action. That one is incomplete. Batted away by John Judd, the junior linebacker for the Red Devils. And now Coach Buzz, an early decision here, which we have not seen very often. 4th and 7 from midfield. Custy, Mulaski, Connolly, and Zolkowski all right there. And it looks like Coach Buzz will go on 4th and 7. Max Gurnick in for his first reps of the year. Nobody in the backfield. This might be a punt here from Tice Custy, which we have seen before. Takes a step back, and he will boot that one away. It will land at around the 10-yard line. Lowell's going to decide to return it. Called a fair catch at the 7-yard line. So I would say maybe a disappointing first drive there for the Crown Point offense.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. We had some momentum with Kingston Connolly that got us a little bit further, but I believe if you were watching, look at the defense, Lowell had a 4-3 defense, which does allow whenever the running back gets it, it creates a wall. So that's why Braden Schutt didn't get very far on this line.
Yeah, he went outside on that run play on 2nd down. Kingston Connolly upset coming off the sideline. Whole offense in the tent there, and here comes the Red Devil offense to begin their season on offense. looks like maybe a wildcat formation here to start. Dylan Bisacci is in a quarterback. Takes the snap from about the 5-yard line, tries going right up the middle. A.J. Summers, along with a few other red jerseys, is there to make the tackle. About a 1-yard gain to start. So we were told Gavin Gutierrez, number 17 down there on the field for the Red Devils, was their quarterback. Bisacci takes the first snap, though.
That is very, very confusing, but I mean, maybe it's a strategy right now to see how it's going to go. They might be trying to figure out their quarterback just like we were last year as well.
So it looks like Gutierrez was calling the play there. He was in front of his offensive line, in front of the whole team calling the play. Snap is taken by Bisacci, though, and he's going to go right up the middle once again and gain about another 2 yards. So it'll be 3rd and call it 6 for the Red Devils from their own 11-yard line. Pinned deep in their own territory. So Gavin Gutierrez, number 17, as you can see on your screen, is calling the plays. He's in front of his team calling the plays, but he is not lining up at quarterback until right now. So now Gutierrez lined up at quarterback. And he has Timothy James, their star running back, in the backfield. 3rd and 7, play action. Gutierrez, the lefty, going to throw to the sideline. That one is incomplete. A big hit from Jaden Sadler, the senior who I actually sat with in my AP Stats class earlier today.
Wow, did you get any insider information?
No, he seemed ready to go. He was talking to his friends in that class. But Sadler, a great play there on 3rd down. Forces a punt out of the Red Devils, at least we assume a punt. And it looks like Bisacci will come out to punt. He's kind of doing everything, kicking off, punting, played quarterback a little bit.
Yeah, because on the sheet he's listed as just the kicker. There's no QB listed at all. So this is kind of an interesting scheme that they're putting right now.
Yeah, Gutierrez on the depth chart listed as a quarterback. Only took 1 snap at quarterback that whole drive. Bisacci to punt from his own 1-yard line. That one is booted away straight to A.J. Summers. He muffs the punt at around the 40, picks it up, tries to get a block. Flag is down, running over multiple white jerseys. Summers down the sideline, cuts back inside the 20, and they're going to call him out of bounds. He stepped out at around the 25-yard line, but a flag is down all the way back past midfield. Waiting for a call from the official. Discussing with one of his other friends in the black and white stripes. So Summers, if he hadn't stepped out, may have taken it all the way, but it wouldn't have mattered because of the flag back there. It would have been an incredible play. Muffed it, picked it up, and almost ran it in.
Yeah, if you look at some of the stats for him from last year, he had 37 tackles for A.J. Summers. So he's definitely going for the touchdown right now. He has the momentum, I guess, that Coach Buzz is trying to instill.
So an illegal block in the back is called on Garrett Ortiz, the junior linebacker. Number 45 out there on the return team. So the Bulldogs right back on offense. Have not seen that very often where the Bulldogs don't score and then get a 3 and out. They, besides the one catch by Kingston Connolly, basically went 3 and out. So here we go. In much better field position to start. Started at their own 20 on the last one. A.J. Summers, the Wildcat quarterback, running right up the middle, just bulldozing his way through that pile. And it looks like one of the Red Devils came away with the football, and he's going to go down the sideline. He's going to score. Gage Wimberly just came out of the pile with the football, and a shocking start here in Crown Point, Indiana. Gage Wimberly just came out of the pile of bodies with the football and ran it down the sideline. The play was not called dead, and the Lowell Red Devils are on the board first.
That is truly interesting to see because I know usually we only keep them to 1 touchdown, and we always start getting the points fast. So this is definitely a momentum keeper for Lowell right now. Maybe they'll keep it up this year.
I mean, what a crazy play. Summers got about 7 yards, was just running people over. Play stops for a second, and you see number 19, Gage Wimberly, just go around the pile and in. It seemed like everybody thought the play had stopped. And that extra point is good from Basacci. What a start for the Lowell Red Devils. They lead 7-0. And this offense is, a little bit in shambles here to start. A fumble recovery and a touchdown, a fumble 6 from Gage Wimberly.
I'd also like to mention that Lowell's team is dominated by mostly freshmen. They have 26 freshmen and only 13 seniors on their varsity team. So this is very interesting to see that a team heavily dominated by freshmen, where ours is the opposite, mostly seniors, coming out of this game hotter than they usually do.
I was shocked. I saw 19. I thought he was just kind of running around the pile. I didn't even know he had the ball.
You blink for 1 second,
yeah.
and now it's all the way down the field.
What an incredible start. Seems like something always crazy happens here at the stadium, at least in one of the games. Last year, it was Valpo. I think it was Troy Danzy recovered. No, it was intercepted by Dominic Fenton, I believe, and then he fumbled the ball. Troy Danzy goes in for Valpo. And this year, to start, the first touchdown of the season is not by the Bulldogs. It's by the Lowell Red Devils on a pretty crazy play, defensive touchdown from the 5'9", 166-pound senior Gage Wimberly. Now, can the Devils keep it up? More importantly, can the Bulldogs respond to something like that?
And every game that we watch and everything like that, there's always a momentum meter. Right now, Lowell is pretty much all the way down on their side with this blink of an eye touchdown, but Crown Point needs to start gaining it back, and I'm sure Coach Buzz's plays will get them back up there.
Basacci will boot this one to about the 6-yard line. Gurnick to return. He's going to take it out to the 25 and has tackled it around the 27-yard line. So here we go. Coach Buzz probably not very happy with his troops after last drive, a one-play drive that resulted in a Gage Wimberly fumble 6. Can you call it that, a strip 6 touchdown? I don't even know what to call it. Just came out of the pile with the ball.
Yeah, it was very strange to see. It's like a blink of an eye touchdown at this point. We're going to make up our own words for it because it was so out of the blue.
1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line is where they're going to start. Gurnick in the backfield alone for the first time today. Custy throws outside. Ethan Zokowski makes a move, goes backwards, fights his way forward for a few more yards for about an 8-yard gain. Good start to the drive, 2nd and 2 for Crown Point. And I think, Bella, you're totally right with that momentum meter. Braden Zamoyski, who was up here last year with me, talked about that all the time. We always have the momentum meter. Is it shifting towards Crown Point? Is it shifting towards Lowell? You're totally right. Right now, it's almost 100% Lowell in terms of momentum. Can Crown Point gain back some of that momentum that they had coming into this game? Gurnick's carry goes nowhere, battling forward. They're going to call it a 1-yard gain, so 3rd and 1 for the Bulldogs. Another 3rd down early.
The defensive strategy on Lowell right now is excellently executed because if you see each player is finding the player that has the ball fast, and they're going after them. There's like 3 guys on our running backs each time that the running back gets the ball.
Cale Wimberly, Gage Wimberly's brother there at linebacker, number 30 on your screen. Sophomore. And his defense has played incredible. You have Cameron LeBlanc, a junior who's playing all the way back as a safety for the Red Devils. The defensive line has done an incredible job. Bulldogs going quick. Custy's going to take it himself right up the middle, and he will get the first down and some additional yardage. About a 5-yard gain, a first down for the Bulldogs to the 43-yard line. And the first down celebrations begin on the scoreboard today. By the way, Bella, a packed student section tonight. Just looked over.
Extremely.
Looks like the theme was blue today. A very packed student section today.
Well, even just looking out right in front of us, even all the families too. Like, we expect that, but I feel like it's even more packed than last year.
And even the Lowell visiting section, a lot of people came out. And Lowell's pretty far away, not too far away. But credit to them for coming out. Flag is down right as the ball is snapped here, maybe in a legal formation. Summers gains about 4 or 5 yards on the play, but this one might be coming back. Coach Buzz, whatever it was, the official told him he did not like. Summers choosing to go with no gloves on at least his Wildcat snaps, excuse me. Officials conversing, communicating with the Lowell sideline. Head coach McKim over there. The flag was thrown immediately as the ball was snapped. Usually that's an illegal formation, maybe a neutral zone infraction from the Red Devils. Across the line of scrimmage as the play started. Here comes the official. Call.
Offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
Looks like an illegal motion is what was called, so that's going to back up the Bulldogs 5 yards. So they're kind of taking a few steps back here. That's another thing Bryn Zamoyski and I talked about last year, is taking a few steps forward but then taking more steps back. Can't do that, especially now down 7-0 as we enter about halfway through the first quarter. Custody to throw the screen. Gurnick has it, has a few blockers out there with his offensive line. Gurnick gets tripped up down the sideline. Good tackle was made by Cale Wimberly down the sideline alongside Bo Eisen.
That was a very close, almost quarterback sack there. If he didn't get that out to Gurnick, he would have been down right there, which was, like I was saying earlier, the defense finds who has the ball and makes it through our offensive line pretty fast, to the point where we might be watching out for those quarterback sacks.
That would have been another big loss. That would have set the Bulldogs back maybe another 15 yards or so. But instead, they are across midfield into enemy territory for the first time tonight. They were at midfield when they punted the ball on their first drive. At the 42, Custody will hand off to Gurnick. Gurnick right up the middle. Logan Howard and company on the offensive line helping out with a gain of about 5 yards. 2nd and 5 from the 39-yard line.
Number 6, Cannon.
A few rotations here from the Bulldogs. Mulaski coming back in. Ethan Zolkowski, the lone receiver, to the near side. RJ Ford, Kingston Connolly. Gurnick in motion towards their side. They're going to go screen to the opposite side. Zolkowski's got it. Zolkowski's free, and Ethan Zolkowski races down the sideline, and that one is in. Touchdown, Bulldogs. What a way to respond there. A 39-yard touchdown from Tice Custody to Ethan Zilkowski. And with an extra point from the actual perfect Oliver Brewer we're talking about last year, it'll be 7-7. What a response from the Bulldogs.
That was an excellent response. And Ethan Zilkowski is actually one of the backups. He's listed as a backup right now. So the fact that they put him in and he got that touchdown, it probably makes Crown Point even happier. And like I said, that momentum meter is probably now more in the middle, or even shifting a little bit more Crown Point if we get this kick in.
A new holder, by the way, this year, AJ Summers. I assume he's gotten plenty of reps, and he will do just fine. Snap good. Hold is not so good. Summers has got it. He's going to run outside to the 10, to the 5. He's going to dive in, and was he in? He was! What an effort from AJ Summers, diving in, taking on multiple Red Devils, and the 2-point conversion is good, and the Crown Point Bulldogs have an 8-7 lead. Just before the ball was snapped, we were talking about a new holder, AJ Summers. Coach Buzz, even though they did convert, may not be happy with that one. Cooper Mulaski was the holder last year. Struggles early on holding there, but it works out in Crown Point's favor, 8-7 Bulldogs.
And I know you said Buzz might not be too happy, but after seeing that, you got to kind of give it to him. He made a decision, the team did too, and they went for it, and they got it. Effortlessly almost, too.
Yeah, he took it out to he had a free lane until about the goal line when he took on a few hits from the Red Devils. But Ethan Zolkowski on senior night, one of the senior receivers on this team, with his first touchdown of the year and his first touchdown on Crown Point varsity in his 3 seasons on the team. Played with him as a freshman. Really excellent guy, really nice guy. Was very good on our freshman team. Did not get many shots here on varsity until this year. Maybe not listed as a starter, but maybe they're treating him as a starter with a touchdown, his first. 4:50 to go here in this first quarter. It's been an interesting start, to say the least. An interesting 7 minutes and 10 seconds that we've had so far. The Red Devils scored on defense on a pretty weird play, to say the least, with Gage Wimberly. And a two-point conversion, a botched extra point that turned into a two-point conversion, gives the Bulldogs the lead. And Oliver Brewer's first kickoff of the season goes to about the goal line. And with the new rule implemented last year, a ball received inside the goal line will be called an automatic fair catch. So the Red Devils will get the ball to 20. LeBlanc was the one returning for Lowell. So no problems with the Crown Point defense so far. Only a few problems with the Crown Point offense. So let's hope no problem spread to the defense, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're hoping for. As we saw, Lowell's defense was very strong. They're coming out, they're finding the players, they're attacking, and I think that's what Crown Point needs to start focusing on, the 4-3 and the 3-3 like they usually like to do. So I think that they need to stop letting those gaps happen.
Jake Yeager, junior this year, number 12 on your screen, playing safety for the Bulldogs. Good tackle made inside by a whole lot of red jerseys, mainly Brody Hood there. It was kind of an underrated piece last year. He's a sophomore this year, got a few reps, so I mean a good few reps as a freshman last year. Let's see if Gavin Gutierrez goes back into the gun, and he will. So taking more and more snaps at quarterback, 3 receivers out to the wide side of the field, the far side of the field. James comes in motion. Gutierrez goes right up the middle. Sadler is there. It looks like he flipped it to one of his teammates, but the Bulldogs all over it. Josh Daniels comes up celebrating. I guess it was Gutierrez with the ball the whole time. A gain of about 1. 2 quick plays, 3rd and 9 for the Red Devils.
Something about Crown Point's defense is whenever they get stopped, it's like they're hitting a wall. Like they just, 4 guys are on them or 3 guys are on them, and you can't go anywhere. You just kind of give up at that point.
Oh yeah, it seems like they just like get hit and they don't go anywhere.
Yep.
It seems like with Max Gurnick and Braden Scott, they keep fighting for extra yards. This defense doesn't allow it. Gutierrez scrambling, then that one will be thrown away. Great defense from the Bulldogs. Should force the Red Devils into a punt. A.J. Summers in on the coverage, playing linebacker for the 2nd straight year for this Bulldog team. Starting linebacker, I should say, 4th and 9. And Versace on to punt once more. For the Red Devils, Max Gurnick, A.J. Summers back to receive. Summers had a pretty good attempt at a return last time he was back there, but a flag and a foot out of bounds stopped him from having another 6 points on the board. Snap a little low. Nobody able to get through. Steve Pantelik's pads are out flying. Another muff punt from A.J. Summers, and he's going to get tackled by Cameron LeBlanc. All the way back to the 20-yard line. They're going to call him out at the 27-yard line. A little fortunate there to not start way back and start at the 27-yard line. Ortiz making his way off the field. And here comes the Crown Point offense once again. And just want to go over who is starting this year. We'll start with the offensive line at left tackle, a 6'4", 315-pound senior, Logan Howard. Left guard, committed to Grand Valley State University, a 6'4", 265-pound senior, Tony Brooks. 4 of the linemen this year, seniors, by the way, so 2 more to go. Connor Cavalcante at center, number 56, a 5'10", 230-pound senior. Zach Clark, the last senior, right tackle, 6'3", 275 pounds. Obviously, brother of Ben and Will Clark. Kingston Connolly nearly getting away, ankle tackled. And a right guard, the only non-senior, a 5'10", 260-pound junior, Noah Bozanovsky. An incredible offensive line filled with lots of experience. Even Bozanovsky, as a junior, at least he's not a freshman or a sophomore. Lots of experience, even if he hasn't played too much here on varsity. The other 4 guys, though, plenty of experience. And I mean, a lot of size on this offensive line. Their averages are 6'3", 269 pounds. Huge offensive line out there.
That's very helpful for our Crown Point offense.
Very helpful for the run game, and that's so right there with Braden Scott evading a few tacklers and gets up to around the 48-yard line. Tackle is made by John Judd, his second of the night. All the way up to the 47-yard line, another first down for the Bulldogs.
And John Judd actually does average 6.6 tackles per game. So you got to watch out for him and wherever he's on the field because he might tackle our running backs.
He's one of the linebackers in the middle of the field for the Lowell Red Devils alongside Jerron Cannon and Cale Wimberly. Those three linebackers holding down the middle of the fort for the Red Devils. It's going to be a play-action pass. Custy looks across the field, throwing down the middle. R.J. Ford is there, and Ford, did he make the grab? He did! What a grab from R.J. Ford down the middle of the field. A great throw from Tice Custy in tight coverage all the way to the 13-yard line. A gain of about 40 yards on the play.
And R.J. Ford is one of our youngest starters on the Crown Point offense. He's a sophomore right now. So the fact that they're putting him in here and letting him get these catches, look at what it's doing for the offense.
And that was one of the better throws we've seen Tice Custy make. I think one of the few criticisms we have of him is his deep ball. That was a very impressive throw from him. A.J. Summers going to keep this one on the Wildcat. Flag is down once again. Summers battling his way all the way down to about the 4-yard line. Nearly got a first down, but there's actually two flags down, one on the near side, one on the far side. Might be another formation or illegal motion, and those are the kind of penalties that Coach Buzz does not like. Probably likes those the least out of any of the calls, even if it's a holding call, pass interference call. And it'll be a false start call, which we do not see very often at all from this Crown Point Bulldog team. That backs them up 5 yards. And there's that momentum meter. Although they scored and they actually have the lead, a lot of the momentum tipped their way. It's just, let's say, about 80%. Maybe now it's 77%, 75%.
Well, like you said, take one step forward,
Right.
2 steps back in a way. So I think that's what's happening again, and that momentum meter's going down and down and down.
Summers going to fake the Scud, and he's going to try and get away from Judd. There is Judd again. Wimberly there, as well as their third linebacker who we were just talking about, Jerron Cannon, a junior on this team. Another great tackle made by really the three of them. And a gain of nothing, so 2nd and 15. This is plenty good field goal range for Oliver Brewer, but obviously want to head towards the end zone. Tice Custy back in the game at quarterback. Running on about a minute to go here, under a minute to go here. Custy looking to throw, pump fakes, throws in the triple coverage, and that one is intercepted. He did get his feet down in the back of the end zone by Cameron LeBlanc. What a play from him. A poor decision from Tice Custy throwing the Cooper Molaski. That's a big frame to throw to. 6'7", 210 pounds, but not in triple coverage. A poor decision, overthrew him. Gave LeBlanc some space in the back of the end zone, and Braden Scott coming off the field along with the offensive lineman, not happy with that play, and another disappointing end to another Crown Point offensive drive.
I was just about to say, you said it great. He threw it into triple coverage. That is not something you should do. Yes, Cooper's tall, but that is not something that you should be doing in this situation. He was in the end zone, I get it, but there are other options, and even if you can't hold the ball, you don't want to risk that interception like they just had.
Yeah, poor decision from Tice Custy here early. Had a great throw. Just a few plays to go to R.J. Ford down the middle of the field. But an interception in the back of the end zone by LeBlanc stops that drive short. There goes Timothy James trying to get away again. That red wall just letting him get nowhere. Maybe got a yard on that play. Garrett Ortiz, Bobby Bond, a whole lot of red jerseys there to stop James in his tracks.
We see this really commonly with NFL teams. The defenses could be excellent, but sometimes the offenses lack the ability. Not saying Crown Point is lacking anything, neither is Lowell, but the defenses are what sometimes carries the team and stops them in their tracks.
Last year, this defense only gave up 12.4 points per game. As we head into the second quarter, the first quarter is over, and the Crown Point Bulldogs, after one, lead the Lowell Red Devils 8-7. An interesting first quarter, to say the least. We're going to head to a quick break here on the Bulldog Network. Stay with us for second quarter action right here on the Bulldog Network.
Welcome to the Corner Booth. At the end of a long week, the best reward is to slide into a warm, comfortable corner booth at your favorite neighborhood pub or diner. The Corner Booth frozen pizza, appetizers, and Italian beef bring us back to the neighborhood and traditional recipes. We love our pub-style pizza in Chicago. Its signature characteristics include a crispy, thin crust, 100% real thick shredded cheese, and an overload of quality toppings. The taste is satisfying to the soul. And for a truly authentic pub-style experience, we recommend cutting our pizza into squares, not wedges. We invite you to savor the irresistible flavors that have made the Corner Booth a staple of Chicago's food scene. Available at Jewel.
Welcome back to Game Night presented by the Bulldog Network. Just want to remind you, if you're just joining us as we came out of this last break, we will be your host for every home football game this season for the Crown Point Bulldogs, starting with tonight, week 1, versus the Lowell Red Devils in an interesting first quarter, to say the least. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Bella Angarone. Thank you for joining us. Gutierrez, a quarterback, handing off to Timothy James up the middle for a gain of about 2. It's going to be third and just about 5 for the Red Devils. 8-7 is your score. The Bulldogs lead. But the offense has not looked up to par. Their defense has looked totally fine. Those 7 points you see on the scoreboard for the Red Devils was actually a defensive touchdown. But this red wall, as maybe we should call it, as we go throughout the season, has done completely fine. Ben Clark threatening a blitz here. Max Gurnick maybe coming off the edge. And a flag is down. And it looks like the Red Devils moved early. A full start will back them up to 3rd and 10. A crucial penalty there. They go from really convertible area to now Crown Point really knows that they have to throw the football.
And we've been seeing a lot more penalties pretty fast too. But throughout the first quarter, there were 4, I believe. And now I think there's 1 right now, starting out the second quarter. So they need to watch out for those.
That linebacker core of Garrett Ortiz, Ben Clark, and Brody Hood is going to be hard to get by. Max Gurnick seems to be coming off the edge here. Gutierrez back to throw, has time, throws down the middle of the field. He has a man, and he's got him. A good tackle made by Sadler, but a great catch made by Bo Eisen down the middle of the field, and a huge gain for the Lowell Red Devils. And they're into enemy territory for the first time tonight. A huge gain on the play, and here goes the momentum meter again, shifting back towards Lowell after the Tice Custody interception in the end zone. And a huge play like that on offense is shifting that momentum meter. Going quick here. Gutierrez in the gun once again. James in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 45. He's going to get the handoff. Gets away from a few red jerseys. Gains about 4 on the play.
As we can tell, Gutierrez does throw the ball more than I feel like Tice is doing. So I don't know. I feel like that's a big strength on the Lowell team right now, that they're not just relying on handing it off to their running back and having him run, but instead they're using all their options. Yeah, Tice Custody tried to throw to Cooper Mulaski, but that didn't obviously end up as well as we were hoping.
Gutierrez going to fake the handoff here to James. He's going to go right up the middle, ran into his own man. Their pulling guard, William Tillery. 5'11", 240-pound junior, got right in his way, bumped him out of the way. That's a big boy compared to Gavin Gutierrez. Gutierrez standing at 171 pounds compared to the 240-pound Tillery. No need to be ashamed that you get bumped off your feet by a guy that big. 3rd and 7 now for the Red Devils. They had 3rd and 10 all the way back at around their own 20-yard line. Can they convert once more? Snap and a handoff to Gutierrez here. A pitch outside to Timothy James, and he's going to get a first down and a lot more. What a play call. Gutierrez down on the ground a little bit longer than I think anybody on the Lowell sideline is comfortable with. Coming up with a little bit of a limp. So the snap went to Gabriel Stump, who handed it off to his quarterback, Kevin Gutierrez, who then pitched it out to his running back, Timothy James, who then took off down the sideline. But Gutierrez got up a little gingerly after that last play. 1st and 10. Another great conversion, though, from the Red Devils. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. More pressure coming from the Bulldogs. James up the middle, trying to get blocks from his offensive line. Not much there. A gain of about 2 on the play. It's been an interesting game, to say the least, to start.
That's definitely an understatement. There's no words to describe this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we expected. I think it's a realistic thing to say that this Crown Point team, as we talked about in the pregame briefly, is taking a step down. But they've beat Lowell, as I said in the pregame, 194-35 in the last 5 years. They beat them 38-7 last year. We expected a closer game than that, but not kind of an edge of the seats uncomfortability that maybe we're having right now. James runs up the middle for a gain of about 4. So it's going to be 3rd and about 4 here for the Lowell Red Devils.
Again, like we were saying before, they hold them off to like 1 touchdown in these past few games. At this rate that Lowell is going, they might get 3 touchdowns. The momentum, they're going. Crown Point might also keep it close with them, but Lowell is continuing.
And, I mean, the Red Devils themselves weren't so bad last year in their Northwest Crossroads Conference. They only lost 1 game. They went 5-1, and Drain coming out of the top of that conference 6-0. They lost to Hobart in sectionals, who, I mean, we'd agree is a better team than them. So they're not a terrible team themselves. Gutierrez takes it up the middle for a gain of 2, tackled by Jake Yeager. Came down from his safety position, so a tough call here. Basacci seems like a very serviceable kicker, but from here, it would be about a 41-yarder. But 4th and 4, I think, is very manageable for this offense. And Coach McKim of the the Red Devils, keeping his offense out there. Gavin Gutierrez in the gun, nobody in the backfield with him. A heavy package here. Gutierrez the throw, backs up, fires outside. That one is caught. Bobby Bond fell down on the coverage on Timothy James, and another conversion for this Red Devil offense.
Yeah, as we said before, that Bobby Bond didn't have very much practice out here. He had 2 tackles last year, so this is his first game playing like this. So he might have those room for those little mess ups, but he needs to watch out for that whenever he is going after a player who's gonna get the ball.
Another senior who I played with on the freshman team, played receiver a lot. Very fast, runs, I believe, track. I mean, he's very quick, but a mistake there, slipping on a very talented, and you talk about fast player, Timothy James. They're going to go right to him up the middle. Nothing is there. Stuffed by the defensive line, Nevion Wright in there on the tackle along with Steve Pantelic. So a loss of 1 on the play, backs them up. It's about the 18-yard line. But, I mean, we really don't see it often, especially this early in the season, a team marching into Crown Point's red zone. We don't see that very often. They're inside the 20. Gutierrez in the gun once again. 1 wide receiver out. Gutierrez the throw. Looks around, winding out. Wright chasing him. Throws down the sideline. Nearly caught by Stump down the sideline. It was Jake Yeager on the coverage. Nevion Wright was chasing a scrambling Gutierrez. Nearly another electric play from this Lowell offense.
Again, there are those deep passes that we see Gutierrez keeps on doing. he takes a shot, he goes for it, and maybe he doesn't make it, but at least he's not throwing it into more like triple coverage instead.
And Custy threw a ball in the triple coverage intended for Cooper Mulaski in the back of the end zone. Just a drive ago. The Red Devils trying to respond to that one. 3rd and 11. Gutierrez in trouble, escaping Brody Hood. Pantelic Dickinson there. Throws the back of the end zone, and he had a wide open Gage Wimberly, who has the sole Red Devil touchdown tonight. But he ended up throwing it too far out of bounds. So 4th and 11, and here comes Dylan Bisacci. From here, it'll be about a 36-yard attempt. And it looks like they will decide to kick it. It looks like the quarterback, Gutierrez, will hold. Stump waddling out there to line up. So about a 36-yard attempt and a botched snap. Gutierrez will have to get up. Gutierrez just laid on the ball, so they're going to call him down. I wonder if Gutierrez could have done something with that bad snap there. But we will not know. So a disappointing end to Lowell's drive there. Going from about 20 to 20, but no points.
I would also, if I was Lowell's quarterback right now, I'd be so afraid sometimes of Crown Point's defense because you have one person chasing you. Yes, he had an open man, but sometimes reading that coverage when you're running away from a super tall linebacker, it's definitely not ideal.
Ideal indeed. I wouldn't want to be running from a guy like Garrett Ortiz or Ben Clark or Brody Hood, or just hunting him. Custy has a ton of time, doesn't know what to do with it. He's going to scramble and get a few yards, stiff arms a man out of bounds. Custy will gain maybe a first down there. Was it enough? They will call it a first down. So Custy scrambles for a 10-yard gain, and it will be called a first down. First scramble tonight for Tice Custy. Over halfway through the second quarter now. Approaching halftime, the Bulldogs with only a 1-point lead. We do not see that often at all, especially against a Lowell team that they have dominated, and there's really no other word to describe it. They have dominated the Red Devils the last few years. They're going to go play action here. Gurnick, nothing there. Custy, nothing there. Gurnick really visibly frustrated. Trying to reason with Braden Scott there. Scott, just a little tap on the butt there to say, hey, let's keep going. 2nd and about 13 now after that loss from Tice Custy.
I know that Coach Buzz usually likes to start out and play aggressive with these offenses, and the defense is playing really aggressive against Lowell's offense, but Crown Point's offense needs, I feel like, to get that boost, and maybe during halftime they'll get some talks and they'll try to get that aggression back, but they're kind of letting Lowell's defense get on them and scaring them a little bit.
RJ Ford on the field, the receiver. Custy rolling out to his right. He's going to escape once again, being chased by multiple white jerseys. Gets out of bounds after a gain of maybe 5, getting back to about a 3rd and 9 here. I mean, we're generous if we're calling it 3rd and 8 there. So a 3rd and long for the Bulldogs coming up. Not an ideal spot for this offense to be in once again. 4:51 to go until halftime here. If you're just joining us, the Crown Point Bulldogs lead the Lowell Red Devils 8-7. See the cheerleaders down there on the field. Custy's going to, that's AJ Summers going to keep this one running outside, getting blocks from Ethan Zilkowski, and he's going to pick up a first down. And a flag is down. It looks like that'll be a late hit. Max Gurnick approaching. Don't want to get another flag here after getting about a free 15. Zach Clark, Max Gurnick there defending their teammate from the hit from Gage Wimberly out of bounds. AJ Summers coming up a little bit slow, walking slow on the sideline, but a first down is picked up.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15-yard penalty for the end of the run.
So that'll be an additional 15 yards for the Bulldogs, and I mean, if there was a time they needed it, it would be right now. to try and get that momentum meter to swing back in their direction. All the way to the 33-yard line. Ethan Zolkowski, Cooper Molaski, AJ Summers back in at quarterback. In the Wildcat, Max Gurnick in the backfield. 3 wide receivers out to the far side of the field. Molaski, Connolly, and Zolkowski. Summers will fake it to Gurnick, going to take it himself. He's going to try and get positive yardage here. Flag is down about in the middle of the field in between the hashes. Good tackle made by Cameron LeBlanc. There'll be a loss on the play, but a flag is down. Maybe a holding on the far side of the play. Officials conversing once again. Looks like they've gone away from custody here for the last few plays. AJ Summers taking the last few snaps.
I think AJ Summers is kind of a wild card for them. That he goes in there, he either runs or he attempts to pass it, or he just does whatever he feels is right. He looks at more of the coverage. I feel like he isn't getting chased by too many players as well.
2nd and 10 for the Crown Point Bulldogs. Officials still conversing with the Lowell sideline. Molaski, Conley, and others.
That penalty is declined. Brings up 3rd down.
So penalty will be declined, so it'll be 3rd down for the Bulldogs instead of 2nd and long. It'll be 3rd and shorter than long, but still a 3rd and long here, about 3rd and 12 for the Bulldogs with about 4.5 minutes to go until halftime here. And the Bulldogs are not set. Officials stopping the game. Maybe a timeout called by the Bulldogs. Coach Buzz didn't like what he sees. The Bulldogs aren't coming to the sideline, so I'm not sure what the stoppage is for. Maybe Coach McKim of the Devils did not want to decline the penalty because the Red Devils are not coming off the field. I think it should have been 2nd down, not 3rd down, if I'm not mistaken. All the Bulldogs waiting near their silent official coming in to make a correction.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm hearing.
Penalty brings up 2nd down. Crown Point will not be charged a timeout because of an official adjustment.
So no timeout is charged to Crown Point. So it's 2nd and 12 rather than 3rd and 12. I thought we jumped it down there, but officials usually know more than us up here in the booth. But correction from the official down there on the field. 2nd and 12. 4:33 to go. Tice Custody back in at quarterback. Braden Scott in the backfield right behind him. Play action. Custody looking down the middle. He has RJ Ford down the middle of the field, and it goes off the tip of his fingers. And that one would have been a great response, a touchdown right down the middle of the field of the sophomore Ford. Instead, it brings up where we just were, a 3rd and long.
That was a very close one. You could tell that Custody led Ford down that area, and Ford wasn't covered by too many people, just one person, and he could have totally had that, but sometimes, it slips and doesn't work out.
So the Bulldogs, a missed opportunity there. Ford still in the game to the near side of the field. Kingston Connolly, Custody to throw. Going to throw a screen to Kingston Connolly here. Judd is there on the tackle alongside LeBlanc. A gain of maybe 2 on the play. So now 4th and long. And Connor Cavalcante is not able to walk on their own power. And this would be a devastating loss. This is not a good sign. It's his left foot that he was grabbing at, and he couldn't put any weight on it. He's going to try and hop his way off the field. Coach Buzz coming out to check on him, and he's going to sit back down. And this, the Andy Keller loss was already enough. This would be a crushing blow to a very experienced, very talented center in Connor Cavalcante.
This is
Still sitting there.
devastating for any team to go through, any players, especially when you have two of your starters that you were going to, one was going to be a starter and one is a starter right now. That's going to take a hit for the Bulldogs.
Coach Buzz standing right over him. Cavalcante going to try and get up. Still having trouble putting weight on that left foot, but way better than when he originally tried to come off the field, so that's good news. But the bad news is that he has quite a limp to him, and he's going to head towards the medical tent. Any word we can get on him, we will, of course, relay back to you guys watching. But that would be a hard loss for this Crown Point offensive line, which is one of their strong suits. And losing one of their seniors, he's slowly making his way towards the 10. Not a good sign for the Bulldogs, and they're going to go for it here on 4th and 10, maybe too far out for Oliver Brewer. Custody to throw, sets his feet, fires one in there. That one is caught by Kingston Connolly. He came down with it, and a huge first down conversion from Tice Custody to Kingston Connolly.
We were talking about that earlier in the game. Kingston Connolly, RJ Ford, Ethan Zokowski. We were saying who's going to get more recs, you know? And I believe that the wide receiver game is a huge advantage on this Crown Point offense.
1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Custody coming back in, was already in. So Bosnowski will take over at center. So some rotations going around on the offensive line. That's another key to look out for as we go throughout the rest of the night. 1st and 10, bobbled snap. Scott comes down with it. Scott getting run right up the middle. Evades multiple white jerseys. Tackled near the goal line. They'll call him in. And Braden Scott with his first touchdown of the year. 12 last year. Number 1 of his senior year here on senior night. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
I need to ask you, I know we were talking about it before, that he was hard to tackle with a really low center of gravity. I know you have a story about that from your freshman year.
Yeah, I talked about that last year. I mean, it was over here on the practice field, I guess you can call, where they play the lacrosse games. And we were just running through a normal drill, and Braden Scott came right at me. I moved out of the way. I didn't try and tackle him. Coach Bruno of the freshman team was, let's just say, not pleased with me. I got out of the way. I did not want to tackle Braden Scott. He's a tough guy. I've tried to tackle him before. I made an attempt a few times ago. I learned my lesson. I was not going to try and tackle him. And that was his freshman year. He's gotten bigger and stronger in the last 3 years. Extra point is good from Oliver Brewer. So the score is 15-7 Bulldogs. Yeah, tough guy to tackle, and as you can see there, breaking multiple tackles on his way to the end zone.
And he's so driven. He has an eye on where he needs to go and where he wants to go, and he doesn't look anywhere else. He gets the ball and goes. And I think that's a really strong suit because some people worry about the people around him, but he was just shrugging off those people like it was nothing.
That's true. He doesn't. That's a good point. He really doesn't go side to side. He goes north and south, not east and west. Yeah, that's right. And it kind of, Max Gernick more east and west than Scott, but he also goes north and south. I think that's what makes this run game so good. A.J. Summers coming in at Wildcat. He goes north and south.
Right.
Maybe the most out of anybody. I know they do teach that, but you're right. Braden Scott, north and south, doesn't let anybody deny him from getting into the end zone that time. So Oliver Brewer to kick off once again. So 1 for 1 this year on PATs. Was going to kick his first one on their last touchdown. But it was actually a A.J. Summers run-in botch snap 2-point conversion. One of quite a few moments that have been out of the ordinary tonight. PAC student section tonight. Theme was blue tonight because of senior night. First week of the season, it was senior night. Kind of an interesting way to do it. Brewer to kick off, and that one's going to go all the way about 9 yards deep into the end zone, nearly to the back of the end zone. LeBlanc Obviously a fair catch there in the Red Devil offense, who moved well last drive. Didn't get any points, but went from their own 20 to Crown Point's 20. Will start once again at their own 20.
Even if they don't get very many points, that's how you, of course, win the game. But if you start at 20 and go to 20, at least you're slowly starting to gain back the momentum. And hopefully you can go from the 20 to the 10 next time and just little by little grow your offensive plays.
I don't think the expectation for the Lowell Red Devils, they would not say this publicly, but I don't think the expectation was to come in here and win. It was to come here and give Crown Point a competition, and they've done that very successfully. We'll see how the game progresses. But if I'm the Lowell Red Devils and I have a one-possession deficit going into the locker room, I would have taken that 1 million times out of 999,000. I would if I'm Coach McKim on that sideline,
okay,
and you told me 8 points heading into the locker room, something must have gone either really wrong for the Bulldogs or really right for the Red Devils. It's kind of been both so far
right
tonight. 2nd and 6. From the 24-yard line, it'll be Timothy James on the Wildcat snap. He's going to work his way up the field for about a 2-yard gain. Ben Clark, once again, I have a feeling he's going to have a lot of tackles this year, following in the footsteps of his brother, Will Clark, who graduated here just a few years ago at Buffalo. Playing linebacker, wearing that number 1, as his brother did. Brody Hood and Garrett Ortiz also in on that tackle as well. A.J. Summers seem to be coming off the edge here for the Bulldogs. Gutierrez keeps this one. Nothing there. That red wall takes him down about 6 Bulldogs. Ortiz came away with the football, and a timeout is called by the Bulldogs with 1 minute and 52 seconds remaining, trying to get one more possession before halftime, because the Bulldogs did receive the opening kickoff. So the Red Devils will get it coming out of half. It's 4th and 5, a big decision here for the Red Devils. If I'm then, I would punt this away, trust the defense, and head into halftime with hopefully 1 possession lead. You do get the ball. It'd be different, I think, if Crown Point got the ball coming out of half. I think taking the risk would be more worth it, but getting the ball, I think they should punt. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you. I think punting would be the better option because, like you said, you're going to come back out with it in the halftime. There's only 1 minute and 52 seconds left on the clock for quarter 2. So I think that would be an excellent option for them to just punt it away, see what Crown Point does, and, maybe they'll get something, but maybe they won't. Maybe they'll only get to the 10.
So Josh Daniels, Fletcher Dickinson, Stephen Pantelic, that starting defensive line, averaging out to 6'2", 237 pounds. First 3 guys out there. Corners, linebackers, and safeties falling out. Max Gurnick, A.J. Summers back to return the Dylan Basacci punt. 4th and 5 from his own 25. Will he get this one away? He will. A good one high into the night sky. Summers to return. He muffs it again, and the Red Devils come away with it. A.J. Summers, his 3rd muffed punt of the night. And maybe the Red Devils are punting to him on purpose. The 3rd muff of the night. He was the one who maybe didn't fumble, but had the ball stripped from him on the Wimberley Lowell touchdown, the sole Lowell touchdown. And oh my, what a turn of events now. So Buzz uses one of his timeouts. Minute 44 to go. And not only does Lowell get the ball back, but they're in good position.
I need to ask you, do you think that because A.J. Summers doesn't wear gloves right now, as you mentioned before, do you think that's a huge thing?
It could be, but usually as Gutierrez takes this one outside, flag is down. Looks like that will be called on Brecken Billhorn. Maybe a block in the back on A.J. Summers. It'll be holding from Brecken Billhorn on A.J. Summers, so a huge flag there. Backs up the Red Devils a little bit, helping out this Bulldog defense. But yeah, I think the gloves could have something to do with it. Usually you see no gloves in the rain, so the ball isn't slipping off your gloves. And I mean, it's not, maybe the rain comes later, but it's not here right now. It could have something to do with it. Maybe he's more comfortable without the gloves. But 3 muffed punts might be enough to boot A.J. Summers from punt returning in week 1. We'll see come Pike next week. Of course, we'll have that broadcast right here on the Bulldog Network next Friday. Gutierrez back to throw, scrambling, goes right up the middle, has tons of room, getting away from Sadler and sliding down. Bobby Bond right there to tap him down. And Sadler may have injured himself, his offensive line helping him up. But Gutierrez seems to be hurting. We saw him limping earlier in the game. Gutierrez limping right now. The officials stopping. It looks like it'll be a timeout by the Red Devils with a minute 22 to go. So 2nd and long for them. I mean, again, this is still a great position. I mean, considering what we've seen, Lowell could be in a better position. But, again, I think we have to take into account the pregame thought of Lowell of we're going to be down 1 possession going into half. We're going to have a drive inside of Crown Point territory before half to tie the game possibly.
Right, and then get the ball right back again.
Right.
So that's definitely going to be a plus for Lowell right now.
And this defense has held down. Again, that 1 touchdown, if you're just joining us, was by Gage Wimberly. Might see him out here on offense, number 19 for the Red Devils. Just came out of a pile of red and white jerseys, stripped the ball away from A.J. Summers and took it back for a touchdown. But that was on defense. Lowell offense has moved the ball, has not scored yet. Again, this Crown Point defense only allowed 12.4 points per game last year, allowing only 65.1 rushing yards per game last year. I think have allowed more than that tonight. James to keep this one. He's going to run right up the middle, find some space. Gets into the secondary. Jake Yeager there on the tackle, along with Brody Hood, and he's going to be about 2 yards short. So 3rd and 2, a big 3rd down here for both teams as we run under a minute to go here until halftime. I think at this point, Lowell's just trying to use clock. Don't give Crown Point the ball back, but you do have to be concerned about yourself. 2 timeouts remaining for the Red Devils. 3rd and 2, Gutierrez in the gun. 3 wide receivers out alongside with his tight end Stump. Throwing to the sideline. That one is incomplete. Jake Yeager on the coverage, but his man Bo Eisen was wide open. Incomplete. So that brings up 4th down. It is 4th and short. A decision to be made too far probably for Bisacci. So 4th and 2 from the 29. It'd be a 46-yarder from here. And Gutierrez is going to go under center here with 3 backs, and it's going to be a run play to Timothy James, and nothing is there. Brody Hood comes in alongside Bobby Bond, then Josh Daniels, and that whole red wall. 38 seconds to go. Crown Point has some time to do something. They have a big leg with Oliver Brewer. Could get to maybe about the 30-yard line and try one with Oliver Brewer, but again, only 38 seconds, but a huge stop for that Crown Point defense.
That was an excellent stop. You saw them all kind of running out there, kind of just to show that they're proud of that. And as you were saying, to get to even this to 30 would help them get maybe a few extra points on the board and not have a huge deficit and keep their points higher.
1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Forward, Connolly, Zokowski seem to be the go-to 3 wide receivers. Custia screen to Connolly here. He's going to try and get a few yards, going to try and get out of bounds here. Clock will continue to roll, though. And it doesn't look like Coach Buzz will call a timeout. Maybe signaling that he just wants to get to break here. 2nd and 8. Clock will keep winding down to 15 seconds. Custy standing near the sideline with Connolly. Doesn't look like another play will be ran. So a very interesting first half here to start the season. Week 1 between the visiting Lowell Red Devils and the hosting Crown Point Bulldogs. 15-7 is your halftime score. We've got a close one here in Crown Point. Stay with us for halftime analysis and the second half right here on Game Night, presented by the Bulldog Network.
Generations of family, faith, and community are at the heart of Dutch Farms. Based in Chicago for nearly 40 years, we work hard to bring you a full line of fresh, high-quality products fast. Like eggs that go from farm to shelf in 24 to 48 hours. That's freshness you can trust. And it's all part of our family tradition of quality here at Dutch Farms.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
What? This means we get to talk to Denise.
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent helps guide you through the process, so you don't have to go it alone.
Denise! Hey! Wow! We were just talking about you. That's so funny.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better every day after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree. We care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Whether you kick off your day hot and fresh or bold and cold, schooled big with Java-Wave coffee. Then fill up on favorites like our delicious breakfast pizza, home-style biscuits and gravy, or our croissant note lineup. Hot, fresh, and ready every morning. And if you're really hungry, try the Farmhouse Sandwich, king of Indiana breakfast. However you start your day, start it the Bulldog way with Family Express.
You don't want to miss this. The pace, the noise, the moments you don't forget. Get in now with a $100 refundable per-seat deposit and secure priority access to the best available seats and best pricing for the 2026-27 season. The earlier you act, the better your options. Don't miss it. Secure your spot today.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America builds and maintains roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure that make us the crossroads of America. So thanks to LIUNA members' work, Hoosiers have a better quality of life, like access to utilities, easier routes to jobs, schools, or medical care. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Welcome to the Corner Booth. At the end of a long week, the best reward is to slide into a warm, comfortable corner booth at your favorite neighborhood pub or diner. The Corner Booth frozen pizza, appetizers, and Italian beef bring us back to the neighborhood and traditional recipes. We love our pub-style pizza in Chicago. Its signature characteristics include a crispy, thin crust, 100% real thick shredded cheese, and an overload of quality toppings. The taste is satisfying to the soul. And for a truly authentic pub-style experience, we recommend cutting our pizza into squares, not wedges. we invite you to savor the irresistible flavors that have made the Corner Booth a staple of Chicago's food scene. Available at Jewel.
Some see a volleyball match. We see a student athlete learning how to be poised under pressure. Some see a high school football stadium. We see the one place where the whole community comes together. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Whoa, bummer. Well, at least you get to see your insurance agent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Sure, my car got struck by lightning, but my Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, Mike, is gonna help me figure it out. So awesome. Oh, here he is. Big Mike!
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent helps guide you through the process, so you don't have to go it alone.
And now for your halftime entertainment, the Crown Point High School varsity camp dance team will perform their UDA Camp Jazz Routine. Y te quieres divertir. Con encanto y con rigor. Solo tienes que vivir. Un verano en Nueva York.
Welcome back to Game Night presented by the Bulldog Network. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Bella Angarone. It's good to have all of you watching on tonight. We will be your weekly home game host for the entirety of the football season and for most, if not all, of the basketball season, girls and boys. So you can tune in right here on the Bulldog Network for every home game. Next week will be Pike, another out-of-conference matchup, as there normally is at the beginning of the season. And then we get in the conference play. The first conference game will be on the road at Maryville. The toughest test of the season, week 3. That'll be on September 4th. We'll be back here for September 11th, September 18th with Valparaiso and Portage. It's going to be an interesting season. We've had an interesting game so far. Again, if you're just joining us, the Crown Point Bulldogs lead the Lowell Red Devils 15-7. And yes, there was a 2-point conversion. It was an A.J. Summers muffed hold, if you can call it that, and then he took it in for 2. And the defense has been great so far, but Lowell's offense has not scored. Those 7 points came from their defense, but they've moved the ball up and down. It's been an interesting game, to say the least.
It's been a very interesting game, and you were mentioning A.J. Summers, number 4. There were some
he fumbled the ball, and then he muffed 3 punts.
Yes, that's
he
what I was.
He muffed a hold. It's not been a great night for A.J. Summers. There was a lot of hype for him, at least from me. I thought he was going to be very good tonight. He's not looked the sharpest, and I know Coach Buzz is really going to get on him for those muff punts especially, but even the muff hold and especially the fumble, which are Lowell's only points tonight.
Right, and we were mentioning maybe because of his gloves, or is he even going to be the returner anymore because of how much he's been fumbling throughout these games? But I think that's one of the biggest things. But other than that, I feel like the quarterback situation with Tice Custy, he's been scrambling a lot more than we would like to see.
I think he's looking a little inconsistent. Again, the quarterback situation isn't inconsistent.
Right.
But Tice Custy has not looked his greatest. He's had a few good throws. He's had those flashes. He had one to RJ4 down the middle of the field. He had one down the middle of the field in the end zone that RJ4 dropped. But he had that one bad pick into triple coverage. Intending Cooper Mulaski, who's 6'7", so I can't really blame him for trying it. But it was triple coverage. He overthrew him back at the end zone. It was intercepted by Cameron LeBlanc. So he's been up and down. Something that has been up and down is the run game. It's still been as good as ever with Max Gurnick and Braden Scott.
Of course, as we saw, Braden Scott ran it in, and that's what Crown Point needs. They need to continue the running game because they are relying on their wide receivers a lot more. They had Zolkowski, they have Ford, they have
Kingston Connolly, who's really contributed. He's had a few screens. He's had a few balls thrown his way outside. That's right. The receivers have played really well. Custy, a lot of his throws have been kind of medium, over-the-middle, outside throws, a few screens here and there. But the deep ball, which was the big criticism last year, I think his biggest weakness last year, and even going into this year, has looked better. It's been improved. But that run game has got to keep strong so it can keep the defense honest, so Custy can go play action, throw the ball down the field if he needs to.
And that's all about options. You know, you can't rely always on rushing. You can't always rely on receiving. You have to have multiple options to allow yourself to look at the coverage and be like, oh, I'm going to hand it off here, or I'm going to throw it here, and you don't want to throw it into triple coverage.
And that big red wall that we were talking about on defense, they've done an incredible job. Josh Daniels, Fletcher Dickinson, Steve Pantelic, those linebackers are better than I even thought. Ben Clark is flying around the field like his older brother Will Clark. Brody Hood is playing very well. He played quite a bit last year as a freshman, but he's playing incredibly well tonight, flying around as well. Garrett Ortiz, who's played a lot last year, playing super well too. I think a consistent positive we can take is that big red wall. That defense is playing really well.
100%. You see the running back run, and we just slam them. There's 3 people on him, 4 people on him, because Lowell look at the Lowell's offense, and we see that, and we continue to hit them.
Yeah, a lot of runs up the middle. We have not seen a lot of runs outside with Timothy James, who had an incredible season last year, a senior on this Lowell team who's gotten the majority of the carries tonight. We've seen a few outside runs, but many of them have been up the middle. I don't know if that's the greatest option against this Crown Point defense with a very strong interior defensive line. Of course, the linebackers. The defensive backs, probably the weakest part of this defense. Bobby Bond, we had a play down there where he slipped, let his man Bo Wyson loose. And Jaden Sadler's been good so far, has had a few good hits. Jake Yeager as well. But I think that is the weakest part of this defense. But even they've done well.
And also they didn't play very much last year. So this is their first game as starters on this defense. So that's also, it's going to take some getting used to. So because it's their first game, they're going to continue to get better and better throughout each game.
And that's the great thing about having a lot of, maybe not a younger team, but some younger guys, you give them time. It's a long season. It's 11 games and more if you're playing in the playoffs. This is the first game of the season. It's basically the middle of August. It's still kind of hot outside. We'll see when we get later into the season. They're playing DAC opponents who are going to be tougher, which could be a cause for concern, only being up 15-7 against this Lowell team, who's a very serviceable opponent, but they're not a DAC opponent. They're not Lake Central. They're not Valparaiso. They're not Maryville, who are going to be a really big test coming up. We'll see how they respond. We'll see how they respond here in the second half. When we come back here on the Bulldog Network, we're gonna stay here on the Bulldog Network actually for just a second with 2 minutes to go for the halftime break. Excuse me. Bulldogs lead 15-7. If you were just joining us, I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Bella Angarone up here in the booth doing your play-by-play and color commentary. The Lowell Red Devils only trail the Bulldogs by 1 possession by 8 points, 15-7. We're going to see how they respond in the second half. We went over their defense. We went over their offense. Now let's go over Lowell a little bit. Their offense moved the ball a lot. We saw them go from 20 to 20. We've seen them be inside of Crown Point territory multiple times. No points, though.
Right, and as I said before, we want Crown Point to have more options with rushing and passing. But the thing is, I think Lowell has so many options. They have so many different weapons on their team to the point where their defense is stopping Crown Point pretty well, and their offense he's handing it off to the other players. He's throwing the deep balls, like we were saying. Maybe they're not necessarily catching them all the time in the end zone, but they're not throwing it to a player who is no way going to catch it.
So Gavin Gutierrez, the quarterback for the Lowell Red Devils, number 17, you'll see on your screen just shortly, 6'3", 171 pounds. He's a decently big guy, a senior on this team, a very young team, by the way, not full of many seniors, at least in terms of the team itself. There's a lot of seniors starting. It kind of gives me a Tice Custody feel, except that Gutierrez runs a lot more. But Gutierrez is a little inconsistent throwing the ball. He scrambles a lot, which we've seen from Tice Custody. But Gutierrez has a pretty good long ball. He's thrown a few long passes down the middle of the field, and they've been on point in coverage just as Tice Custody's have. Maybe now that they're down, I think they go to the run game, but the run game will open up the pass game more, especially if Lowell continues the trail.
But also if Lowell goes to their run game, we also have Crown Point's defense, which is the wall, as we were saying, the red wall. So if they try to run the ball, they're probably most likely going to get stopped pretty fast within this place.
I think Lowell should run the ball early, kind of suck Crown Point in, and then go to that play action, have Gutierrez throw to Bo Eisen, who's been open a lot, throw to Stump, his tight end, Gabriel Stump, who's kind of had an underrated impact. He almost had a touchdown in the corner of the end zone there. Gutierrez, I think, though, will be the key on offense for this Lowell defense, or this Lowell offense, excuse me. He's going to be the key. It really depends on how he plays. If he doesn't make mistakes, like Tice Custody had a triple coverage interception, if he doesn't make mistakes like that, I think this offense is going to do something. Maybe not score points. They'll need to score points, but they're going to be able to move the ball just fine. It's just about when they get into that red zone and the field shrinks a little bit, can they get it done against that red wall? It becomes harder to score. People don't know that. The closer you get to the end zone, you got a tighter field to play on. And playing against a great, just physical defense like the Bulldogs, it's going to be tough to score.
Well, as we saw, Gutierrez was running away from one of the Crown Point defenders because of how fast they were getting. He was scrambling. That's why he missed that pass to his tight end in the end zone.
The Crown Point Bulldogs lead the Lowell Red Devils 15-7. When we come back, a little bit more analysis in the second half kickoff right here on Game Night presented by the Bulldog Network. Stay with us.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better everyday after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
What? This means we get to talk to Denise.
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent helps guide you through the process so you don't have to go it alone.
Denise!
Hey. Wow. We were just talking about you. That's so funny.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Network. Here I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Bella Angarone if you're just joining us. Crown Point Bulldogs lead the Lowell Red Devils 15-7 here as we enter the second half. And the Crown Point student section just doing the chant, if you will, the AAO chant to the late Freddie Mercury. Great kind of high school tradition we have here. And still a packed student section. This is a closer game, so I don't think anybody should or wants to go anywhere. It's a much closer game than I think really anybody had anticipated. 15-7 is your score. If you're just joining us, we're about to kick off the second half. And Bella, do you think there's anything different or anything that should stay the same coming into the second half for either the Lowell Red Devils or the Crown Point Bulldogs?
I think the number one thing for the Crown Point Bulldogs is just keep the momentum on the defense. Because you're that red wall, you need to stop. Do not let anyone get in the way of that. Don't get distracted. Stay driven, and just keep blocking these running backs and the quarterback, and even maybe get some sacks in there. I think that's a huge key for Lowell for Crown Point to continue to keep this momentum meter on their side.
So you're just saying lean on the defense, which
Lean on the defense.
I think that's a totally fair argument to make. Not that the offense has been bad,
No.
but just that the defense has been that much better. But we shall see. It's going to be an interesting second half, a much closer second half than I think anybody had anticipated heading in. The Crown Point Bulldogs lead the Lowell Red Devils 15-7 to start the second half. The senior Oliver Brewer, one of 30 seniors on this team tonight, boots this one away to kick off the second half. That one into the back of the end zone and out the back of the end zone. Cameron LeBlanc to return does not get a shot at that one. And the Red Devil offense coming out on offense first after the Bulldogs receive the first half kickoff. So 2 quarters to go. Can the Bulldogs hold on? Can the Red Devils rally? It's been a great game so far. It's been a great opener. But I think it's been a little too close for everybody's comfort here in this Crown Point Stadium and for us up here in the booth.
I truly agree. We're up here shaking a little bit because you never know who's going to get the ball and who's going to score the next point. It could be Crown Point to up their lead, but it can also be the Red Devils to almost take the lead, only by a few points.
1st and 10 starting on the 20. Gutierrez will start with a handoff to Timothy James here again. That red wall all over it. James got right out of the hands of Fletcher Dickinson there. But no problem. Whole lot of red jerseys, including A.J. Summers and Brody Hood, whose names I've called way too much tonight, doing their job really well. In there on the tackle, a gain of nothing on that play. So 2nd and 10. First play of the second half is a win for Crown Point. Keep that momentum meter, as Bella said, in their direction, and that will win them the game. 2nd and 10. Gutierrez again in the gun. 3 wide receivers out. Stump, his tight end, also out to run. Gutierrez being chased by Pantelk. He's going to get this one away and throw it away once again. Gutierrez, smart decisions throwing a few of these balls away. Custody has not had a chance, has not been put in a situation to throw the ball away, but we saw, got a little anxious through winning the triple coverage, ended up in an interception. So far, Gutierrez forcing nothing, knowing that he's in this game. He's staying level. He's not trying to do anything crazy. It's just a one-possession game. Their defense has been playing well. Don't do too much is probably what he's saying to himself, and it's a good message to say to yourself. Can he keep it up here on a 3rd and 10? Red Devils have converted many third downs and a fourth down so far. They have to go here. 1 on the play clock. Gutierrez barely gets it off. Blitz coming from the Bulldogs down the sideline. Timothy James slips out of his hands. And a fourth down coming up, and the punt team will come out. Dylan Bisacci to punt it away once more for the Lowell Red Devils. And a big start from this Crown Point defense once again to the second half.
I for sure thought that pass was going to be going to number 19, Wimberly, but it went right over him to number 32, Timothy James, and that was definitely an interesting play call right there.
So 4th and 10. So A.J. Summers is out of returning punts. As we predicted, and 3 muff punts would probably get him there. Max Gurnick to return this one, and that one's going to bounce it around the 45. Gurnick's going to let it go. Great bounce here all the way down to nearly the 25-yard line. A great punt from Dylan Bisacci. Ben Clark coming off the sideline, pumped after that, 3 and out to start the second half. And here comes the Crown Point offense. What will they do differently? What will they do the same? I think running the ball should remain consistent. And another big question mark, Connor Cavalcante. I've not received word on him, but I'm looking down here on the sideline, and I do not see him running out. It will be Cade Buckmaster who will be playing offensive line in place of Bosnowski, who's moving the center. So Cade Buckmaster in for Bosnowski. Bosnowski in for Cavalcante. And if that is a long-term thing, that is not a good sign for things to come on the offensive line side. 5-yard gain to start this drive, and there's a Bulldog down on the field. Max Gurnick, it looks like he's getting up. Had his hands on his helmet, gets up. Seems to be good. He kind of takes his hands out by his side and is like, what? I got up just fine. I think he was maybe on the ground a little bit longer than Coach Buzz would have liked. Buzz over there down on the sideline, maybe explaining that to him. Going quick here, Scott in the backfield, Custy in the gun at quarterback. It'll be a handoff to Scott up the middle. Will it be enough for first down? It looks like it may not be, and he does signal for a first down. So Braden Scott with a 5-yard rush to pick up another first down, maybe not. Saw the 3 go up, and now they will call it a first down.
I think this is exactly what they need. They need to pass it to Braden Scott and let him do some of the work as well.
Braden Scott and Max Gurnick have split the carries last year, splitting the carries this year. Scott leaving as a senior this year. Maybe Gurnick gets all of the reps next year. There goes Braden Scott right up the middle, takes off through a little gap. That is all he needed to go all the way from 63 yards out. Braden Scott, his second of the night, had 12 last year. He's already got 2 of them tonight here in week 1. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Again, he's going north and south. He is not wavering at all. He sees an opening and he goes. He goes through the gaps and he just continues. And that's what we need in this Crown Point offense.
And we were just talking about we need to get him in the game more. And there he is, explodes for a 63-yard run. And as soon as he got through that gap, he was gone. There was no catching him. Brewer on to kick. A.J. Summers is on to hold. Had a muffed hold on the very first one. That one snapped good. Hold is good. That one banks off. And Oliver Brewer with a rare miss. His first PAT miss of the season, his first PAT miss in 2 years. Was perfect last year. That one's no good. So the score now looks normal. It's 21-7, but that was not normal at all. Oliver Brewer missing a PAT did not happen once last year, and it happens on the very first game of the season. There's going to be a lot of things, regardless of if Crown Point runs away with this one in the second half or it remains close and they come away with a win. Coach Buzz he's going to have a lot of things to say to his team, lots of things to clean up. There's been a lot more penalties than I think you or I expected.
Right.
A missed PAT, which almost never seen in a whole lot of a plethora of other mistakes, including muffed punts, muffed holds by A.J. Summers, a few fumbles. Lots of things to clean up regardless if Crown Point comes out with the win.
It's also the first game, though, so it's better that it's happening now instead of a later game against tougher components in your divisions and such. So this is a lot better to work out the issues right now.
Yeah, coming up week 3, unfortunately, we won't have that broadcast of the away game versus the Maryville Pirates, but if anybody watching right now can make it out to that game, I would. That will be probably the best game in the DAC all season. Crown Point, Maryville, it'll be close for the first time in a few years, with a lot of important seniors leaving last year from Crown Point. Oliver Brewer up and away. LeBlanc catches that one in the back of the end zone, automatic fair catch. I might try and get to that one.
I think
the Pike one next week's going to be really good as well.
Yeah.
But Crown Point's got to worry about the task at hand right now. So touchdown is scored, but it's taken a few steps forward and then a step back with that missed PAT. So 21-7's the score. They lead by 2 touchdowns, but I think the feeling would be a little different. Even though it was just a point after attempt, the feeling would be a little different.
Right, because think about it, if they made that point, it would definitely be a lot different. The momentum meter would for sure be over there. So it's kind of interesting to see how Crown Point bounces back from this.
1st and 10 from the 20s where the Devils will start. 10:18 to go. So in 1 minute and 42 seconds, Lowell goes 3 and out. Braden Scott goes in from 63 yards out. Let's see what the Red Devils can do on their second drive of the half. Gutierrez will keep this one, runs into Steve Pantelic for a gain of about 1 on the play. Ben Clark coming out of that pile with lots of energy, as he always has. A.J. Summers, last one getting up there, 2nd and 9, as the clock runs under 10 minutes. Stadium is still packed here. Heading into the third quarter, you would have seen last year by the beginning of the second half, I'd say most of the crowd would have been gone by now. But this one, a close one, as Gutierrez is stuffed. Gains maybe 2 on the play, so it'll be another 3rd and long, 3rd and 7 here for the Lowell Red Devils. And they're doing the money signs. It is a money down 3rd down and 7. Jake Yeager communicating to his defense. Garrett Ortiz. Looks like the Mike linebacker out there. Ben Clark. Bobby Bond. A.J. Summers, the defensive line. Everybody ready to go here on a big 3rd and 7. Gutierrez back to throw. Pressure. And he is sacked. Taken down by Garrett Ortiz. And he might have hurt himself there. Oh, no, Garrett Ortiz is up and limping a little bit. He might have hurt himself. He's tapping his helmet as if to come out. Oh, no, that would be another devastating loss. He's jogging just fine, but he has a little limp to him. So Anderson Keller, preseason torn ACL, and oh, no, Garrett Ortiz goes and lays down on the ground. Just getting a stretch out there down on the sideline.
I feel like so much is happening all at once with these different players.
Yeah, all at once, and now we have a 4th and long punt from Basachi. Ball that's nearly blocked. I think it got tipped by, I believe it was Steve Pantelic. It'll roll out of bounds at around the 32. It was tipped by Steve Pantelic, and the Crown Point Bulldog offense will be in great field position to start, although Garrett Ortiz is of concern down there on that sideline getting stretched out. Maybe he cramped up for a second. He didn't really jump up and down with his celebration until he was celebrating with his teammates. But the loss of Anderson Keller, possibly Connor Cavalcante, and now Garrett Ortiz put the Bulldogs in a tough position. Maybe not for the rest of this week, but the following weeks to come. Anderson Keller sitting on that cart down there on the sideline. Custy, a good fake rolling out. He's going to throw this one out of bounds. So there we go. A good decision, smart play, throwing it away instead of forcing it.
You were saying that before about Gutierrez as well. He knows when to throw it away, and I think Custy's starting to learn to just keep calm and just whatever you see is right, do it.
T's still down there on the sideline and stretched out. He's going to... Now he's sitting down. He's going to try and get back up. Seems to still have a little bit of pain in that left knee. 2nd and 10 for the Bulldog offense. This Bulldog offense averaged 37.2 points per game last year. Custy, the handoff to Gernick. Gernick up the middle. Gains about 6, maybe 7 yards on the play. So it's going to be 3rd and short for the Bulldogs from inside the 30, which is a little bit long, but definitely Oliver Brewer field goal range. This offense also averaged 211.8 rushing yards per game. That's right, 211.8 rushing, 369.4 total, adding on the 157.6 passing, and that 211 rushing mark might be pretty on point for tonight. It's going to be a handoff to Max Gernick. Gernick breaks free, gets away from Cameron LeBlanc, and he is in for another Bulldog touchdown. So Braden Scott gets a pair. Max Gernick goes right in, and this is the Bulldog offense we were looking for. Max Gernick is in for his first of the year. Had many last year. 12 last year, the same figure as Braden Scott. He is in. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
And last year they relied a lot on the rushing because of the quarterback situation, and we were worried to see, is that going to be the same thing this year with just one starting quarterback? And it is, because that's what they rely on, and I think it gets them far.
So 1 for 2 tonight for Brewer, a figure that we don't see very often. His 3rd point after attempt tonight is up and through. No problem on that one. So he is 2 for 3 tonight on extra points. So 28-7 is now the lead for the Crown Point Bulldogs with 7:17 to go here in the 3rd quarter. That was a drive. That looked like the offense that we had last year.
Exactly, and I think that worked really well for them last year. So if they continue to use some of the same plays and use their weapons that they have, Max Gernick and Braden Schutt, this is the best thing for them.
Yeah, Scott with 12 touchdowns last year as well as Gernick. Gernick has 1 on the board and 2 on the board for Scott tonight. As you see, Ethan Zolkowski and Kingston Connolly down there on the sideline. They've done work tonight. Zolkowski with a touchdown of his own out there on the sideline, talking things over after a really good, responsive offensive drive. Cooper Molaski getting in there, giving them some daps. 28-7 is the score. So 2 quick touchdowns coming out of the half. We're 4 minutes and 43 seconds in. And there's been 2 possessions each for the Red Devils and the Crown Point Bulldogs. 2 touchdowns for the Bulldogs, 0 for the Red Devils, which is exactly what Crown Point wanted and exactly what the Red Devils did not want. As Brewer boots this one away, LeBlanc all the way into the back of the end zone once again. That may not be talked about enough. You don't see that often from a high school kicker. From the 40-yard line to the back of the end zone is 70 yards.
It's effortless, too.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he's trying to put much into it. No. He's booting that and getting a lot of praise from some of the coaches down there that work with special teams, including Coach Bruno down there. I mean, it's right. Effortless, 70 yards. It just looks too easy. We're glad to have him be part of the Bulldogs because without him, there'd be a lot of returns. There wouldn't be many field goal attempts. Bulldogs would have to go for it on almost every 4th down. Here we go again. Timothy James will keep this one for the Red Devil offense. He nearly got out. I believe he ran into the official there. And Garrett Ortiz is down once again, and that may have done it. He was getting stretched out on the sideline, and he is not. He's rolling around. Medical staff is not out there. The Lowell medical staff is out there. Here comes the Lowell. Lowell medical staff is out there. Here comes the Crown Point medical staff. And now I see Brody Hood getting stretched out on there. I believe that's probably just cramping. But Garrett Ortiz, I think it's something more than cramping. Of course, we don't know. We're not going to speculate, but he was hurt on the last drive. He goes right back out there and is limping off the field again. Coach Buzz checking in along with the medical staff. Man, that would
This is definitely another devastation.
that would hurt. I think. I mean, they wouldn't have put him back in if they didn't think he was okay.
For the second time getting on the ground, though, that might be.
Yeah, and here he goes again, back on the ground. He's going to get stretched out again. It is a hotter day. It's not super hot, but it is a hotter night here in Crown Point. Ortiz getting treatment again on the ground. And, I mean, about 20 feet from him is Brody Hood as the Lowell run plan first down goes nowhere. And, I mean, Brody Hood cramping up is not much better. He's not on the field right now as the Bulldogs are on defense. So some of those backup guys getting lots of experience here, which is much needed in case of an emergency like this one that we're seeing right now. Derek Nelson, one of the linebackers out there for the Bulldogs, as well as Trip De La Rosa. 2nd and 10. They're going to hand off to Timothy James up the middle. Big hit. Met with force. 4-yard gain to about the 36-yard line. So 3rd and 6 here for the Lowell Red Devils. A big third down. Maybe get this tired and cramping defense off the field and give it back to the offense, who may score quick, but at least they can hold the ball for a little bit with a 3-possession lead. 3rd and 6. 2 wide receivers out. Looks like Gabriel Stump in there at tight end. Nobody in the backfield. Gutierrez throws quick to Timothy James. That one's incomplete. Ben Clark helping up Gutierrez, who he just hit. 4th down, and here comes the punt team, once more for the Lowell Red Devils.
And yeah, he tried to throw it to his receiver, but he was also in double coverage as well. So that was also better that it wasn't like intercepted for the little team too.
Garrett Ortiz is back on his feet. So is Brody Hood. Each standing next to a member of the medical staff. Body language looks good. Bad snap, good kick getting away by Basacci. That one's going to roll all the way down near the 20-yard line. And that's where the Red Devils will pick it up. Trip De La Rosa coming off the field with lots of energy. The 6'1", 200-pound junior. So the Crown Point offense will begin at the 20-yard line with a 3-possession lead if you're just joining us here on Game Night presented by the Bulldog Network. First of all, we'd like to thank you for joining us. We will be the host of every home Crown Point football game for the entirety of the football season. So next week against Pike, you can catch us right here once again. And then 2 weeks from then, DAC matchups will begin here at home. I'm Gabe Trevino, your play-by-play commentator alongside Bella Angarone, your color commentator for tonight. 28-7 is the score. The Crown Point Bulldogs lead the Lowell Red Devils with 5:42 to go here in the third quarter. Handoff to Braden Scott, tries to cut it back. Good tackle made by the Lowell Red Devils. Once again, it's Peyton English, who's been all over the field tonight, as well as Luke Kalwinski, who's also been all over. Cameron LeBlanc as well, who has an interception tonight off Tice Custy. So this offense has scored 2 drives in a row, which they could not do in the first half. Let's see if they can keep it up. Tice Custody heading back in. Kingston Connolly, Ethan Zilkowski, RJ Ford, Cooper Molaski, Braden Scott in at the skill positions. Play action. Custody to throw. Has time. Good blocking from Zach Clark. Custody takes off. Still looking to throw, and now he's going to scramble out of bounds. Maybe scrambled a little too late. Maybe got a yard on the play.
Again, anything really counts. Little by little is how they've been playing it, and yes, they've gotten those 2 great touchdowns, but even if you're just getting a few yards just to get the first down, anything helps.
I think just running the clock is the main objective now. Now that you have for Coach Buzz, this may not be a comfortable lead, but you have more than a 1-possession lead. Let's just call it that. I think now the goal for Crown Point is to run the clock, chew some clock. Don't give Lowell time to come back, even if their offense is running well. Don't give them time to figure it out. Come back in this game. Another handoff to Braden Scott up the middle on a 3rd and long. Reaching forward. Big decision here for Coach Buzz. It'll be 4th and short. Very doable for this offense, especially this offensive line in the run game. But he is deep in his own territory. Discussing with some of the assistant coaches down on the Crown Point sideline. There he is right there. Waiting on a call. Looks like they will stay out there. Offense will have to go 15 on the play clock. Connolly, Zokowski split out wide. Custody with Scott in the backfield, and he draws the Red Devils offside. And that was probably just about perfect. Draw the Red Devils offside. That was Brom Courtrax with the offsides jump. Good hard count from Tice Custody on the play. And a huge first down for the Bulldogs to keep this clock running as we approach the 4-minute mark. It's Brom Courtrax, who jumped off sides. 96 on your screen. The nose guard down there for the Lowell Red Devils. Officials maybe pumping up the play clock, just resetting it. 4:09 to go. Now it's running just fine. Officials begin to wind the clock. Tice Custody in the gun once again. Hand off to Braden Scott. He's got room. Braden Scott is going to try and run away from everybody. He's got a few guys to get around. Scott breaks the tackle inside the 25 all the way down to the 22. Big run from Braden Scott. A run of about 44 yards on the play.
He truly is insane to tackle. He just literally shrugged one of them off and had to have 2 people tackle him coming at him. That just shows true momentum right there.
Yeah, power back, to say the least. Even at his size, he's only 5'8", 185 pounds, but that is a very strong 185 pounds. And he showed it there on that run. So it looks like 3 backs in the backfield here. They're going to go right to Scott. Max Skurnick, his other back, gives him a block. But a few of the Red Devils are there in white jerseys, including Cale Wimberly on the tackle. So gain of about 4. Second and a long 5, as our PA announcer, Mr. Molaski, says. So 2nd and 6 from the 20-yard line. So entering the red zone are the Bulldogs once again. Ford, Zilkowski, Molaski, Connolly once again in. This time Gurnick in at back. Custody will go play action. Has time. Gurnick looking for somebody to block over the middle of the field. Kingston Connolly had a shot at his first touchdown as a Crown Point Bulldog. Maybe he slipped. He fell face first. Not sure if he slipped or if he got pushed or he dove. A close call to Connolly's first touchdown as a Bulldog. Comes up short. 3rd and a big 6 for the Bulldogs. Connolly remains in on offense. Ford and Molaski remain in as well. So Kowski, the only one subbed out. Good block by Gurnick. Here goes Custy taking off down the sideline. Titus Custy's going to dive at the pylon, takes a big hit at the goal line, and he's in. Titus Custy takes off, showing the speed and the physicality there at the goal line. A 20-yard run into the end zone. Touchdown. Bulldogs, their 5th of the night.
And this is exactly what we were expecting to see from Crown Point. Playing against Lowell, their last score that the CP won was 38-7. So they're coming up really close on repeating that.
You know, I was talking to you, I think we were in one of our breaks, and I was talking about how they beat them 38-7 last year.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect 38-7, but I didn't expect it to be that close. It was 15-7 at the time.
Right.
And here we are. It's almost 38-7 once again. We still have a quarter and some change to go. And Connor Cavalcante, I'm seeing on the sideline, is in a boot on crutches, and that is not a good sign. We'll get as much word as we can. Brewers kick is up and through. So 35-7 is now your score. Titus Custy with a 20-yard run into the end zone. But Connor Cavalcante, finally we get to see a visual of him, and he is in a boot with a crutch in his hand out of his pads. Just not a good sign. Your starting center, really not a good shot. And there you see Anderson Keller and Braden Scott. Keller again out with a torn ACL. Scott giving us a little smile to the camera there. Anderson Keller, as you can see there, he lets out a little smile. As you can tell, he's probably very disappointed. Committed to Central Michigan in his senior year. It could maybe not have started worse for him. We wish him a speedy recovery, of course, with one of the worst injuries in the sport. We hope that he recovers fast and well so he can have as good of a career at Central Michigan as he had here at Crown Point. Just really, really feel bad for him. He can't get a chance here his senior year. So 2:37 to go here in the third quarter. 35-7 is the Bulldogs score. So back-to-back-to-back touchdowns for the Crown Point Bulldogs. As you can see down there on the sideline, the receivers, Ethan Zokowski and RJ Ford and Kingston Connolly down there as well. Great work by our camera crew and specifically our cameraman, Braden Zamoyski. That one booted to the back of the end zone once again. So the Lowell offense will start for the 1 billionth time with the 20 because of Oliver Brewer's incredible leg, booting these footballs from his own 40 to the back of the end zone.
Again, he's so effortless while he does each and every one of them. Like, all of his kicks are great.
Yeah, really effortless. I mean, we saw that missed PAT, and we're just shocked. Like, we just can't imagine a world where he misses one, and he punked one off. And I see Garrett Ortiz down there getting rolled out. It's on his calf. I think it would be cramping. It would make sense if it was cramping because Brody Hood seemed to be getting the same treatment, just getting stretched out, trying to get the muscles to loosen maybe a little bit so he can go back into the game. So 2nd and 9 now for the Red Devils as we approach 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Now I think if you're the Red Devils, down 28 with just over a quarter to play, I think you're not trying to win the game. You're just trying to try out things on your offense and do the best you can. I'd try things with Gutierrez here. They are going to try something. He scrambles again, throws to Gabe Stump. Stump is going to try and run over Bobby Bond, but he stands strong. Bobby Bond out there on the edge. The 5'9", 160-pound senior stands strong, makes the tackle. Coach Buzz goes over to him. Bobby Bond coming out now, and he's limping. And he's laying down on the sideline. Looks like he's getting stretched out as well. everybody's falling. Hopefully everybody's healthy for week 2 against Pike. That'll be a tough matchup for them. Minute and a half to go. First down was picked up by the Red Devils from their own 31. Timothy James trying to get around that red wall, but he cannot. Gains maybe 2 yards on the play. A few subs come in here for the Bulldogs. Trip De La Rosa, Brody Hood, Ben Clark, Jaden Sadler, Max Gurnick, Josh Daniels, Jake Yeager all in there. Crown Point defense has played really well tonight. DeJuan Allen also in there. That's one of the funnier guys on the team that I played with my freshman year out there at corner, number 21 on the far side of your screen. 2nd and 8. Flag is down. Right before the start of the snap, start of the play. It will be a false start on the Lowell Red Devils, so that will back them up a little bit, and that's what you don't want. A few steps forward and then a few steps back. It seems to always go back that way.
I was just about to say that. You were saying that about Crown Point, but now it's happening to Lowell, too.
So 2nd and about 13 now. See Chase Horton warming up on the sideline just a few moments ago. 2nd and 13. Here goes Gutierrez. Gutierrez scrambling away from Pantelic, who had a sack on him earlier, trying to get away, and he'll toss this one out of bounds. He is tripped up over there on that sideline. And Gutierrez, he gets up with a limp. And Brody Hood, who is on the sideline getting stretched out, is also down once again. Derek Nelson hustling in, maybe for a sub for him. The officials call it their own timeout to get Brody Hood some assistance. He's really struggling to put some weight on that right leg. A lot of bodies falling here for Crown Point. I mean, obviously they had summer workouts and summer practices. They're not out of shape in any means. Maybe it's just playing their first full-speed game. But a lot of bodies falling. Garrett Ortiz, Brody Hood, Bobby Bond came out a few moments ago, kind of limping his way out. And, of course, Connor Cavalcante.
And these are critical peep starters as well. They're going to be letting their sophomores and juniors getting some touches this time.
Yeah. Which won't be a negative thing, but in the closer games, you'd prefer to have the more experience, the juniors and seniors and the guys who've played a lot more. Here Gutierrez getting away once again, throwing that one away. Jake Yeager calling for maybe an intentional grounding. Will not be called, but 4th and long is brought up now with 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And once again, Bisacci on to punt it away. Ortiz talking to Logan Howard down there on the sideline. Just trying to kind of work out that leg, it seems. And Brody Hood getting the exact same treatment that Garrett Ortiz got. Bobby Bond trying to work out his issues. I feel like I'm talking about the whole team getting injured.
At this point, you might.
Hopefully nobody else meaningful, one of the starters, comes out of the game. And, I mean, we can start to call this garbage time, up to 28 points late in the 3rd quarter. That one is high but not very far. Lands at the 45. Takes a Lowell friendly bounce and bounces and rolls all the way to the 36-yard line, and that's where the Crown Point offense will come out, run one play, and head to the 4th quarter. Maybe we see Chase Horton, who we saw on the sideline warming up. Maybe he gets in and plays a little bit for the Bulldogs with Tice Custy still in the game, though. Max Gurnick in it, running back still. Zelkowski, Ford, and Connolly, as well as Mulaski still remain in. No changes, and I see Tony Brooks is also out, sitting on the sideline. I can't tell if he's injured. Custy looking to throw. He throws it. Cooper Mulaski and it goes right through his hands. Mulaski worked his way open, and it goes right through his hands, and now a Lowell Red Devils down on the field. Right by the 40-yard line, and that will bring an end to the third quarter. Lots of bodies flying around. 35-7 is your score as we head into the fourth quarter. The Crown Point Bulldogs lead the Lowell Red Devils. Bodies flying around. Offense finally waking up. Let's see what the fourth quarter brings here on Game Night, presented by the Bulldog Network.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better everyday after. It's the first day in your new career. Your first pay raise. The fifth day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family. Or the day of your last car loan payment. Much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree. We care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Welcome back to Game Night, presented by the Bulldog Network. If you were just joining us as we begin to sing Sweet Caroline, the student section all with their cell phones out, waving the flashlights, one of the great traditions of high school football as we begin the fourth quarter. Sweet Caroline, a great tradition as the bleachers shake with the Bump 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 to Neil Diamond's classic. Love that song, and especially in an environment like this. But if you were just joining us, this is not a music show. This is a football game we're broadcasting here. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Bill Angarone. Crown Point Bulldogs lead the Lowell Red Devils 35-7. Max Gurnick carries this one up the middle for a gain of about 6 on the play. He wanted to get out of that little crease that he had and try and get in for his second of the night. But he is denied by that great linebacker core of the Lowell Red Devils. So third and about 3 for the Crown Point Bulldogs. And as the fourth quarter begins, we were talking about it a little bit in break. Will Chase Horton come in? Will we see him get some reps? Custody to throw here to Mulaski. Mulaski takes a hit at the knees, but he will pick up a first down. And that will just run some more clock, which is all Crown Point can hope for. We didn't see Chase Horton a lot last year, getting reps. He was mainly custing Mulaski even during some of the blowouts. But let's see. I would be excited to see Chase Horton because I don't think Buzz would just bring him in there to run the ball. I think he'd bring him in there to throw the ball a few times. So we shall see. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Another play action. Custy looking to throw. He's going to throw to Zilkowski. That was nearly intercepted right there on the sideline, but Ethan Zilkowski makes the catch after 3 yards.
That was really rough. I feel like he was going to run into his own teammates if he went any further.
Tough throw from Custody to Zilkowski. He hauls it in right on the sideline. 2nd and 7 from midfield. Bozanovsky at center for the injured Cavalcante we saw in a boot and a crutch on the sideline. Gurnick working his way through the gaps for another 10-yard gain and another Bulldog first down. So the clock stops momentarily, but it will keep running with 10:20 and counting to go here in week 1. And a rocky start, but, I mean, barring a miracle, it looks like it'll be a dominant Crown Point win.
Right, and I'm also liking that they're putting Max Gurnick in right now, too, a lot more than they are putting Braden Scott in, because I feel like Max Gurnick needs that chance to get into this game.
Tice Custody hands off to Max Gurnick here. He's going outside. Couldn't get much of anything except about 4 yards. Had the back of his jersey tugged on. Clock now runs under 10 minutes to play. Tice Custody heading toward the sideline to get another play call. Mulaski right by Coach Buzz's side. Trying to just run the play clock down as much as possible. Garrett Ortiz and Brody Hood jogging down the sideline. That's good news to see. Then I see Tony Brooks still sitting there on the sideline, on the bench. Unless he has something on his leg we can't see from up here. He's still in his pads. Still seems okay. Gurnick with the run outside here. Flag is down in the middle of the field. Maybe a holding call. Would have picked up a first down. But it will be a hold on the Crown Point Bulldogs.
I think putting Gurnick in right now and having this rushing game is really helping the offense stay motivated to keep going down the field.
So it will be a hold on the Bulldogs. They'll bring him back to nearly midfield. It actually will be about midfield, the 49-yard line of the Red Devils. Lots of the starters, Jaden Sadler, Bobby Bond, Josh Daniels walking around. Ben Clark seemed to all be in good spirits after a pretty rocky start. I mean, the defense didn't really have a problem. Offense was the one with the problem early on. Seemed to be all figured out now. Custody to throw outside. That one's nearly intercepted. Intended for Kingston Connolly. He lobbed that one a little bit too much there down the sideline, Bella.
He needs to be a little bit more careful. That's happened 2 times now. It's nearly intercepted because I believe the defense is watching where it's going to be going.
So we got about 3rd and, call it 15 here. 3rd and 16, I guess you could call it here. Will the Bulldogs go for a 4th down and long or just punt it away, considering how well their defense has played? 3 wide receivers are out. Usually that signifies a passing play. It's going to be a screen to the other side of the field. Max Gurnick makes the catch, trying to get upfield and barely gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Clock will continue to roll, though, which is probably the most important thing if you're a Crown Point Bulldog fan, player, or coach. So 4th and 9 for the Bulldogs from the 42. And it looks like Coach Buzz is keeping the offense out there. Play clock keeps running down. Approaching the 8-minute mark here in the 4th quarter.
I think this is a smarter move on Coach Buzz's end because he can wind down the clock more and hold the ball longer for as long as he can.
Custy's going to throw here on 4th down, and he's going to overthrow Kingston Connolly. Gurnick frustrated as he comes off the field. Connolly a little bit frustrated. Custy probably frustrated with himself. That brings on the dominant defense so far tonight with 8:02 to go in this 4th quarter.
And truly, if you look at the score, 35-7, the defense has held off this Lowell offense from getting any more scores than just the 1 touchdown.
And remember that 1 touchdown.
Right.
If you've been with us since the beginning of the game, it was a defensive touchdown for Lowell. So technically 0 points. Lots of yards, I think more yards than Coach Buzz would like, but no points, which is the most important thing. No points allowed by the Crown Point Bulldogs. Gutierrez rolling out, fires one in the traffic. Nearly intercepted by DeJuan. Out and out there. And some of the coaches down there on the sideline cannot believe it. Was nearly intercepted. Instead, it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 with 7:55 to go. Lowell at their own 42-yard line. So 2nd and 10. Play clock running down here on the Lowell Red Devils, down to about 5 seconds. Gutierrez motions James. That was nearly a botched snap because James was in his way. Gutierrez hit right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10. Clock will continue to roll. And a Bulldog is down once again. Not sure who that is. Can't see it from up here. Looks like Steve Pantelic. No, it's not 48. Can't see from up here who it is. But another injury on this Crown Point Bulldog team. It's just It's honestly a problem right now. There's a lot of bodies falling out here. Connor Trapp appears to be the injured one on the field. Not sure, though. You see the offensive line down there. Cavalcante not in his pads. Zach Clark. Bozanovsky's done an incredible job along with Cade Buckmaster. See Carson Newhall in the mix down there as well. He's played on the offensive line.
It looks like Connor's walking off pretty well.
Connor Trapp is walking off under his own power, which is always good to see. So it seems like a lot of guys falling, but they look okay. We're not sure they're okay, but they look good for right now.
Sometimes it just looked like they got like the wind knocked out of them instead of anything else.
So 3rd and 10 now for the Red Devils. Ben Clark getting a bunch of pressure on Gutierrez, chasing him down. Gutierrez will throw that one down the sideline into a tight window, and that one is caught by Gage Wimberly down the sideline.
That was really close.
Coach Buzz saying maybe Wimberly went out of bounds and then back in, which would be illegal touching. It seems like what he was signaling to the official. No call on the play. Clock will continue to wind after the first down pickup. So the Lowell offense moving once again. Let's see if they can get their first points of the night. Gutierrez looking, throws over the middle of the field, kind of into no man's land. Everybody was in the area, but not in that one specific spot.
I think he overcalculated it just a tiny bit. If he would have centered a little bit more, he could have hit that one in the middle.
So 35-7 is the score. Again, if you're just joining us now or in the second half, this game was a lot closer in the first half. The score at halftime was 15-7 Bulldogs. And at one point, very early in the game, the Lowell Red Devils had a 7-0 lead off a Gage Wimberly strip 6. Took back to the house a strip sack on A.J. Summers, who nearly made that tackle there. Timothy James breaking a few tackles. Tackled by DeJuan Ottawin. Gain of about 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd and medium here for the Red Devils. 3rd and 5 as we approach the halfway mark of the 4th quarter. Winding down on what should be a Week 1 Crown Point win for the 6th year in a row against the Lowell Red Devils. 3rd and 5 from their 41. Gutierrez will keep this one. Nothing there. He fumbles the football, and a red jersey is on it. I believe it's the Juan Alden, and he's played well in his time. Fumble recovery, not sure who forced it. Ben Clark was in there on the tackle with A.J. Summers and others. And what an incredible job from this defense. 4th down, so it looked like, the Crown Point defense went back out there, but it was a fumble. It was recovered by the Bulldogs. So the offense will head back out there with about 6.5 minutes to play. Offensive line ready to go. See if we'll see anybody different at quarterback. Will it be Chase Horton? And it looks like it will be. So number 10 that you can see there on your screen, Chase Horton come in. Excited to see him go. Lath Solomon also coming in to play what looks like running back. RJ Ford, Ethan Zilkowski still in at wide receiver. And Connor Cavalcante is out for the game, of course, not in pads and down there on the sideline. Hopefully he's doing well and can recover within the season. Don't want another possible Anderson Keller situation where a star player or a starter, a senior, is out for an extended period of time. Chase Horton, the throw here outside the Zolkowski, and batted away. Tried to get that one away quick. Maybe a little anxious on his first throw.
I think this is a good thing for him, though, to be exposed to this environment against Lowell, especially because they are pretty far ahead, so he can get some touches discover his running backs, wide receivers, and try to work against a different defense.
6:01 to go, third and about 4. Handoff up the middle. That will be another first down, picked up by Cesar Torres. And that'll be a first down. Clock continues to wind as we go under 6 minutes to play in week 1.
And now we see sophomore Cesar Torres now going in there with Chase Horton as well.
Cesar Torres getting his first reps along with Chase Horton. Carson Newhall in there on offensive line helping out his guys. Chase Horton once again in the gun. Handoff to Torres right up the middle. Taking down Zach Clark. And a flag is down right over by Zach Clark. A little post-play altercation. Will it be called on Zach Clark? It was Zach Clark and Jerron Cannon, who's had a great night. They were going at it, as sometimes these guys do in the sport of football.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense. 15-yard penalty for Angarone.
So will be called on Zach Clark.
53,
Oh, he was talking to Coach Buzz, the official was. And he's barking back at Coach Buzz, and Buzz barking back at him. And another flag is down. And Coach Buzz is...
Sideline warning. Offense. There is no yard penalty. This is first warning.
Coach Buzz is hot down there on the sideline. The official, before he turned off his mic, was barking back at Coach Buzz and continued to after his mic was gone, but now 2 15-yard penalties, so back the Bulldogs up 30 yards here.
These penalties are not ideal for Crown Point. This is not what we want to be seeing, getting backed up 15 yards after making these great runs.
So 2nd and 20, there's no yardage added on. As the official said, that's my mistake. It is just a warning to the sideline. 2nd and 20. There goes Torres up the middle once again, rumbling through, bouncing off white jerseys.
And Lowell was trying to be a wall there for Torres, but he just kept going through it. He kind of reminds me of Braden Scott in a way, because he's able to just start brushing off these defenders as well.
3rd and 10, the 43-yard line. So after a Zach Clark unnecessary roughness and a Coach Buzz sideline warning, Bulldogs still find themselves in 3rd and what we can call manageable. Chase Horton to throw here. He has Ethan Zolkowski down the middle of the field. A beautiful ball down the middle of the field. Zolkowski will be just short of the end zone, about 2 yards short of his 2nd touchdown of the night, just short of his 2nd touchdown in his Crown Point career. What a throw from Chase Horton, though. That's very promising to see. Chase Horton seems to be a very viable backup.
He is, and as we can see, Ethan Zolkowski is probably so excited to get the 2nd time getting thrown.
Oh, and a bad snap here. Horton goes back and smartly just jumps on it. Doesn't try to make anything of it, but another, man, that is the epitome of a few steps forward and then a few steps back, and that time it was literally...
I feel like that's all we've been saying all game.
It's just been an inconsistent game here. Again, barring any miracles, Crown Point will win this game, but Coach Buzz will have a lot to say to his team, a lot of things to clean up. 3:45 to go. Carson Newhall hustling off. Really sprinting off there. 3.5 minutes to play. 2nd and goal from the 18-yard line. Horton to throw again. He has Cooper Molaski. Molaski inside the 10, the 5. Cooper Molaski is into the end zone. Is he short? They're calling him short of the end zone. That's what the officials are saying. Or did they call him in? It looks like they did. And it will be a touchdown For the Crown Point Bulldogs, I'm still not sure. The official marked it short at the 1, but it looks like Cooper Molaski will have his first touchdown of the season. Touchdown Bulldogs. Everything seems weird about this game. I can't even get a touchdown call right. And now Brewer on to try the extra point. That one is up and through. 42-7 is now the score. So Cooper Molaski gets in the end zone.
And that's good because I know that he was in triple coverage earlier in the game, and now he finally got his touchdown that he was looking for in the beginning. I think Coach Buzz must have said something to them in the locker room because they're actually picking up the pace so much more right now in the second half.
27 points in this half to Lowell's 0, as opposed to Crown Point's 15 to Lowell's 7 in the first half. A much better second half than the first half. This offense has really been humming, same with the defense, but they've been humming all game. Chase Horton, a very impressive drive from him, a deep throw to Ethan Zilkowski. And on second and goal from the 18-yard line, a little dump off pass to Cooper Molaski, and he does the rest, takes it in for his first touchdown of the year. Everybody getting on the board. Braden Scott down there with Cooper Molaski, giving him his props. And now Oliver Brewer and the special teams will kick off, but they're not quite out on the field yet, so 3:27 to go. And now I think it's safe to say the Crown Point Bulldogs have wrapped this one up. Again, lots of things to fix. I guess a positive that Coach Buzz and the team can take away was Crown Point didn't play their best, and they still ended up winning by quite a large margin. So that would be a good, thing to say to your team as you head into tougher opponents. Pike is not an easy opponent coming into this place next week, and of course the DAC.
Well, can you imagine if they just tweak some little things on Crown Point's offense and defense, and their team can just keep getting better and better each game? If they're already winning with a bunch of tweaks right now, they're only going to keep getting better if Coach Buzz officiates it right.
3:27 to go. Brewer will kick off once again. 42-7 is the score. LeBlanc will take this one out for the first time tonight. That one was just short of the end zone, and he gets a pretty solid return out of himself to around the 25-yard line. Considering where Lowell has started, that is actually pretty solid field position for the Lowell Red Devils, and the clock will run. As a reminder, 35 points or more, and the clock will run in the second half only. But the clock will run now, no stoppages, 2 minutes and change to go now, as we see a lot of the backups come in. So it looks like maybe the key is Buzz isn't safe until it's 35 points. Until the clock is running, maybe that's when he gives other guys a chance. Let's see what they can do. Gutierrez still in the game for the Red Devils. Timothy James still in at running back, gaining about 1. Coach Buzz is still livid down there on the sideline.
I think Coach Buzz is actually thinking smarter though now, because if we don't get until 35 points, because you still never know. They can come back second half like the Bulldogs did right now.
Yeah, and Coach Buzz is notorious for that. Up 28 with 3 minutes to go. He's still not putting his guys in. Maybe the key for him is a running clock. 35. Some of the guys down on the sideline beginning to celebrate again. That red wall just being run into. Red wall's taking a lot of damage, but they've given a lot of damage back. And it's going to be 3rd and 5. We're about the 30 for the Red Devils as the clock winds down to 1:30 to go. A lot of the backup guys in there. Leo Sharkoff, one of them, who, again, another great guy that I enjoyed playing with. I had a few classes with him. And he is in for his first 2 snaps of the season. James will keep this one once again to the outside, taking off, being hit a few times. Still on his feet. Gets a first down all the way out to the 40. as we wind under a minute to play.
Again, I think the exposure for these younger players is just everything. I think they can build from this and play against a different team that, yes, they're winning by a lot, but Lowell is still playing hard.
Nicholas Woodham, number 17, one of the guys coming in. He just hustled off. Mason Pavicic playing safety 19 on your screen. Another handoff to Timothy James here trying to get around that red wall. Nothing doing. Good tackle made by Trip De La Rosa, who's had a great night himself. Coming in and out of the game, that very well could be the last play of this week 1 matchup. Doesn't look like the Red Devils are going to run another play, so that will pretty much do it. Our Rico Artister, 47 on your screen coming in. It looks like he may not get some action. That will do it. The Crown Point Bulldogs defeat the Lowell Red Devils 42-7. An impressive week 1 win. A little bit of a rocky start, but a very impressive win for the Crown Point Bulldogs. Will be back for post-game analysis here on Game Night, presented by the Bulldog Network.
The goal isn't graduation day. It's a better everyday after. It's the first day in your new career, your first pay raise, the 5th day of that week-long vacation. It's the first paid holiday home with your family, or the day of your last car loan payment, much sooner than you thought. At Ivy Tech Community College, we don't just care about your degree, we care about your life. Let's get started at ivytech.edu.
Welcome back to Game Night presented by the Bulldog Network. Thank you for joining us. You're joining us a little bit late, though. The Crown Point Bulldogs just wrapped up a huge win here on the Bulldog Network. The Bulldogs 42, the Lowell Red Devils 7. Welcome into the booth. I'm Gabe Trevino alongside Bella Angarone. Bella, to say the least, it was rocky. It was interesting in that first half, but I think Crown Point showed why they're Crown Point. They ran away in the second half, scoring 27 unanswered points. I mean, it didn't look like a 42-7 game, but the final score was 42-7.
Right. At first, when coming out in the first half, we were thinking 15-7. What is happening? And then they come out, and now the score is 42-7. Who would have thought of that happening ever?
Yeah, the defense played well all night, but the offense had some up and downs. I think that's what happens when your offense changes over the offseason. First real speed game, things happen. Their mistakes happen. A lot more mistakes than we even would have saw coming. Coach Buzz is going to have a lot of things to clean up, lots of flags. A.J. Summers did not have the best night. He had a fumble, a few muffed punts, a muffed hold, which he turned into a 2-point conversion. But a pretty rocky night. I'm not going to say a rough night because the final score was 42-7.
Right.
But it was up and down.
It was. It was very up and down. And again, with A.J. Summers, he needs to speak with him, give him some more plays, get him ready for the next game against Pike, because that's going to be one of the bigger ones right now. I think, like we said before, little tweaks, little things to the defense and offense can help this Crown Point team going up against their DAC defense.
Yeah, and the DAC opponents come right after Pike, and it starts with the Maryville Pirates. The Pike Red Devils next week, similar to the Lowell Red Devils. Will be a tough opponent back here at home. We'll have that broadcast right here on Game Night, presented by the Bulldog Network, of course. But the Maryville Pirates on the road, that's their first DAC game of the season. That's something to look forward to. What I think, let's get into some improvements that Crown Point needs to make for next week. The run game, don't think anything needs to change.
Not at all.
I think Tice Custody played pretty well. I think it's just the little things. There's not many big things. It's not that the defense played bad or the offense played bad. It was up and down. It's just the little things, which when we know Coach Buzz pretty well, he'll be able to fix those things.
100%. He's going to make them watch the film, make them go through their plays again, make them work with each other, because our running backs we have the 3 that are excellent. So if he just continues to let them work with each other, especially with Tice Custody, I think they'll make a lot of those improvements before Pike.
Yeah, and Cesar Torres came in at the end of the game, who you really liked at that scrimmage.
He was excellent.
And he played pretty well in the few snaps that he got, and some of the backups with Brody Hood and Connor Cavalcante and Garrett Ortiz coming out of the game with I don't even know what it was. They ended up finishing the game. They ended up doing fine. They ended up looking fine. Of course, Connor Cavalcante, next week we'll try and update you on whatever we find. All we know is that he was in a boot with a crutch, which is never a good sign in any sport, especially football. And Anderson Keller, we see him in crutches with a torn ACL, of course. We don't want to lose Garrett Ortiz. We don't want to lose Brody Hood. And Connor Cavalcante, out of those three, maybe the most important starting center.
Right, but also look at what Crown Point did. We still won the game with some of our senior centers and people down. We plugged in place our backups, and we still won the game. We still came out strong. We still went through everything that they threw at us.
And as we said, at the end of the game, Crown Point, up and down, they still won 42-7.
Right.
So I think that's something positive to take away. Crown Point did not play well. It was not one of their better opponents on the schedule, but they didn't play very well. It was 15-7 at halftime, but they won 42-7. So I think that it's a positive thing. It's still a 42-7 win, regardless of how they got it. The Crown Point Bulldogs are victorious 42-7.
They really are, and I believe our crowd is very happy about everything. We saw our crowd still filled till the end of the game because it was such a nail-biter because we didn't know what was going to happen. At 47 points to 7, who knows what would happen at that.
Last year when the Maryville Pirates came and visited the Crown Point Bulldogs, it was kind of the opposite. Crown Point got off to a really hot start. I believe they were up 35-7. Final score ended up being 35-28. Here tonight, the Red Devils keep it close, 15-7 at halftime. They end up running away with it 42-7. Overall, a great night. Let's give our players of the game. Who do we think was the player of the game tonight?
I'm going to have to go Braden Scott because he got those 2 touchdowns. Like we said, he goes north and south. He has his eye on the ball where he needs to go, and he doesn't stop for anything. He shrugs off those defensive players like it's nothing.
2 touchdowns for him tonight. He had 12 last year. We'll see how the season progresses, but at that pace, he's going to have more than 12.
Right.
So we'll see how the year goes. For me, I'm going to go the guy that maybe didn't light up the stat sheet. I'm going to go Ben Clark. He just had so much energy today. I can't believe how similar him and his brother Will look at linebacker. I mean, the height, the weight, the number, the energy, they really feel the exact same. And Ben Clark is going to be a real threat for this team and a real threat for other teams.
Right.
Guys coming at him that he's going to tackle. And as for next week, Crown Point's going to have to play a lot better.
Yes.
But if they are able to do the big things right and not the little things right, I think they can still get away with a win. But that's not good enough for Coach Buzz.
No, he's going to tweak everything and make sure everything's pretty perfect on paper.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it for week 1 of the 2026 Crown Point Bulldog football season. The Crown Point Bulldogs get the job done tonight, winning 42-7 over the Lowell Red Devils. We'll be right here on Game Night presented by the Bulldog Network next Friday for the Pike Red Devils right here at Crown Point. We're the home of every home Bulldog football game this season. She's Bella Angarone. I'm Gabe Trevino saying good night from Crown Point.